Well. Why am I weird like this? Zoe, we're so quick to say hello, lovely. Did you have that typed out? You might have a surprise, Zoe. I don't know if you were. I mean, we still don't know who gifted the blind box yesterday on Throne. But if you guys go in the channel point redeems and you see Pancho blind box, it is discounted and there is a maximum of 10, I think, maybe 7. I can't remember. Hello. Is it not going off? It's not going off. Hold up. It didn't go off. I promise it works. I'm not scamming people. That's crazy. Okay, I'll reload in a second. I have to reload in a second. Dante, thank you for first. Zoe, thank you for second first. I'm sorry I've seemingly scammed you. I promise I will try and reload that. Why didn't it work? Please tell me it works. Hello, Kavi. Hi, my baby. How's the bookshop? Have you started at the bookshop? Dwayne, thank you so much for the third. First third. Did I just say turd? As in a turd. I'm so sorry. Hello, Dante. What have you been up to, Loca? Wait, who's reached? Dante, you're so close to 69. Classic scammer move. What the fuck? Can one of the mods refund? I know you can refund yourself, Zoya. You're not on. I promise it works. Lisa, can you teach me Japanese? I say hi. I swear it works. I'm on mobile. Don't worry. Hold up. Dante's slacking, so it's okay. Where's the Pancho? No, where's Pancho? I'm refunding. Wait, you? Thank you so much. Hi, Recti. I'm sorry I'm late. I told you 6 p.m., 5 p.m. And I was like, okay, I didn't cook today because I've been lazy at the moment. I don't even know what I did today. I watched Singles Inferno, a bunch of it. I don't know if you guys know what Singles Inferno is. Is Spotify very loud? I don't think so. I think it's like... I can redeem it again. I think so. I've refreshed the cache. It should definitely be working. Yeah, it should definitely be working, right? It's a tiny bit loud. You're so picky, man. I did ask. What the fuck is this? I'm balding! Denise, I say hi. There you go. I lowered it for myself too. It was quite loud for me. Yeah, I was just watching Singles Inferno today. I did go to the coffee shop today, and it was a bit of an experience because usually on Saturdays I have coffee with my good old pal Paul. His name is Paul, but he's a pal. But he already had people in his table. It was kind of a weird mix, and also do I dox myself? No, because I'm not gonna. Pal Paul homie. He's not a homie. Queen is a homie. He's my friend. And he wants to start YouTube. He already has the entire year, and whenever he starts YouTube, I will be promoting his channel. Cause he's just a good old he's just a good old pal doing his good old stuff. He just wants to record himself, like, doing what... And I'm like, I support you through that. What have you guys been up to today? Who has anyone done anything exciting? Did anyone cry? Did anyone laugh? I don't know, man. I just watched Singles Inferno, and no one else knows what Singles Inferno is. And literally, I keep trying to talk about Singles Inferno at work, and no one, like... listens, but it's basically a Korean reality show, and I'm literally obsessed because the heteros are so fascinating to me. Not even in my hetero relationships was I like that. It amazes me. So if you're interested in the dynamics of hetero relationships, I definitely recommend watching Singles Inferno because it's not as antagonizing as Love Island. I can't bear with a Love Island, but I can bear with Singles Inferno. I had Ali, DJ, Noah, and Zeke come. Oh my god, did you? How was it? We all just being chilled and chatted. Didn't get up too much. I think you guys had a lovely. I think you guys got up to a lot. That is really cute. I missed them. I know I saw them like 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago already? That's insane. Also, we have. I need to mute my notifications on my phone, otherwise I'm gonna get distracted. Where's Konde? He's nowhere to be seen. He was camping. I saw Kon camping. Did you guys play any games though, Dante? I know Tin and Konde will be joining. Miss Wifey, is there a small cooldown on the box? There's a 1 minute one. Does it say that you can't redeem anymore? It's because... But the refund should have taken care of it. Let me go on... Settings. I'm scamming people. I can't believe this. Oh my god, I'm a scammer. I'm a scammer! Don't say that out loud, Frankie. That's embarrassing. Let me take the... Let me remove the... Okay, please, guys, don't abuse. It's supposed to be only for... 1 person per stream. I think you can... Today has been a day. I just saw you live on the side of Twitch and was like, oh, Frankie's streaming. You were right in front of me. Did you actually just think that? It didn't go off. Why is it not going off? Please go off. And I can't... It doesn't let me refresh it. Scammed again. Dante, stop celebrating! It's not funny, man. It's not funny, mate. I'm going to... This is a trigger testing. That's how it should be. That's a trigger testing. Why is it... Hi, Konde. Why is it not working? Man, why is it not working? Can someone try again? I'm going to try myself. Hold up. Where's Pancho? Why? I have so many redeems, guys. This is clutter. I hate clutter. Yum pasa.
How doing? How was food? How was food?
It's not working.
Food's not working.
And I will always love food.
And I will always love food. Sorry.
As you should. As you should.
Why is it not working?
Okay.
Punch a blind box. Am I doing something wrong?
I don't know. Are you?
Stop. Oh. I know
Okay,
why. Can someone refund Zoe? Zoe, do you want to try again? I know why that happened. I know why that happened. I know why that happened, and it might be my fault. It might be me fault. Oh, Dante, ignore that. I invited you. Ignore that. I beg you, ignore that. I don't play with us. I don't want to play with you right now. I hate you right now.
Don't play with me.
I don't want to play with you. No, he actually... No, he didn't join. I was just being... Oh my god, why is my sound being stupid?
What?
Dante, ignore that. Don't... He actually joined. Man, I don't want to play with you! I mean, do you want to play? I mean, no, you're plaid. You like
So is
plaid
Corn.
diamond. Oh, yeah, that's true. He left! Okay, all I'm saying is that I think Dante at the moment is busy. That's why. Wait, no, Dante, do you want to play? I thought you were busy. I thought you were busy, man.
We cannot wide match with 4.
Oh.
Oh.
You should play one of your lower ranks.
I can't hear Discord very well.
I can do DPS.
Guys, I'm having sound issues. Bear with me. Thank you for bearing with me.
Yar.
Twitch hates me. I won't give my box. What the fuck is happening, man? Did you refund Zoe? Or am I going crazy? Hero skill rating? What is this? Is this new?
Yes. It's the hero
Okay.
progression, I think.
It worked! Blueberry! You got blueberry! Zoe, do you want to try again? It says there's no
I
more
wanna try.
available. That's a lie.
There's a 1-minute timer.
Oh my god, I'm going to have to take the limits. Okay, no limits for today because this is my fault. No limits for today! This is my fault, other than the 1 minute, because otherwise it's just gonna be spam. I saw the blind box animation earlier. So are people getting scammed or not? Thank you, thank you for the lure, Conda. I appreciate that. And thank you for the refund. For the refund, for the resale. 8 months! That's a whole ass baby. So what is this?
But yeah, that's premature. Mature. Ugh, English.
Just like me
Is
yesterday.
this like your MMR? Can you guys speak as well, please?
Huh?
Meow.
What MMR?
Cool. Can you guys hear them well? Zoe may have been scammed today, but she got an animation, I think. Yeah, the You got cutie! Look at that! That's so cute! You got cutie. That's really cute. Wait, let me... What is going on with this? Guys, it's just problem after problem. Problema after problema. Are you streaming?
Theme?
See? I
Theme?
didn't know you were streaming. Oh, I need to open Chrome for that. Hold up. Pull up in my Lamborghini, Chrome. Pull up in my Lamborghini. Fuck you, Pancho. Hey, that's my son! Zoe, can you not redeem? Surely you're able to there are no limit. There are no...
Reward is on cooldown. It will be back in 10 seconds.
That's just a minute. Guys, let Zoe redeem it. I beg you. If not, I will be mad at you, chat. If you don't let Zoe redeem it, I will be mad. You will be timed out if you redeem it. If anyone else other than Zoe redeems it now, you will be timed out. Hi, Steve.
I'm tempted.
You will be timed out. Zoe has a sword. She will ban you. Also, hi, Tins chat. I'm sorry. Well, did the shared chat start?
No, I didn't do it yet. I was waiting for you to join. I didn't
But I
realize you did already.
accepted. Oh. Hi, Tins
Some streamers
chat.
aren't live yet. Hi, Dulce's chat.
Oh, it's Leo. Wait,
Yeah,
Zoe, can
lumpia.
you do it? Can we warm up first, please? I am in dire need of warming up. I haven't
Please.
played this game in long. Nothing weird is happening in Dulce's chat. No one's getting scammed. No one whatsoever is getting scammed. Believe... source, trust me, bro. Lesbians only. I mean, the chat is being hidden by the music thing, but I appreciate the support. Thank you very much for supporting lesbians.
Be equal.
I don't think Tin is getting the hang.
Huh?
I've sent you proof.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. I'll be a lesbian too.
Can you refresh, darling? Can you, like, force closure on that app? There you go. You got Pinky! Oh my god! You got Pinky! That is so cute! You got Pinky! Suck it, chat. Okay, I'm gonna put the cooldowns down. Thank you. I'm gonna put the cooldowns to 10 now. 10. 1 per person. Stop stealing Labubu's. And thank you, Zoe. I'm pretty sure it was Zoe. And thank you, Zoe, for getting... Well, if it wasn't Zoe, that's going to be embarrassing. But hey, next time, just don't do it anonymously. I can actually think. Oh, I just noticed. This is so cute. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for the shout out, darling. Why are you shouting me out?
Oh my god.
Oh, I need to go get my
Esperanza.
Speranza. You want Speranza?
I don't know.
You got blueberry again. I wonder what the
Oh my
secret one
god.
is. I don't know what
I
the
didn't
secret
get
one
blueberry
is.
before.
I don't know what the secret one is. Thank you for the
I
shout out
didn't
for
get my push
Tintin.
map.
What's happening?
감사합니다. I said, oh,
Kamsamida.
I didn't
I'm
get my push
learning.
map.
Oh my god, you would love
Hey,
Singles Inferno, Tintin.
Who?
You would love Singles Inferno. It's a Korean dating show.
Ah.
The men apparently are hot, but to be honest, I only pay attention to the women because they're all gorgeous. I have a fat crush.
Totally not because you're a lesbian as well. Lesbian questioning, actually.
Totally
Questioning the
because
fictional men.
Anyone thirsty?
look, I'm just as confused as you are, okay?
I was like, wait, did I say something wrong?
I'm just as no, I'm just looking at the shout out for Conde. And I was a bit confused at that, but about that, I'm genuinely just as confused as everyone is because I
They
do
were
feel
last playing
physical.
Sklay.
Huh?
No, I just looked at Con's shout out as well. They were last playing
Slay. But yeah, I do feel physical attraction to physical men. I can't really say the same about real life men. So I don't think the lesbian tag sexual, I don't know, like the label is
Label?
accurate. But you know, we vibe. I love Walla Walla. We're warming up. Why I keep experiencing like really weird.
Catch me if you can.
I'm actually in shock at this.
I'm gonna go around for the tank. Whoop. Hello, bye-bye.
When's Con streaming? That's the real question.
That's what I've been asking him.
No, thank you.
I
He likes to
literally have a
remain
VTuber
private.
model for him.
That is so cute. I think I need to swap to more. This is not working.
But bro doesn't want to.
Humanity is shackled.
He was like, oh, it's because we're streaming next to each other that it wouldn't make sense, blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
It
bruh,
would be a bit difficult.
there are so many couples who stream next to each other.
You would need like Shure microphones.
We both have dynamic ones. It's just he needs a mic arm to bring it closer to his
Sherry?
mouth.
Oh my god, why is he doing this, man?
This guy.
I offer something more.
Nice ult.
I am literally leashing this guy.
Misery made manifest.
Where's this bish?
What is it now? Be nurtured.
What was I gonna say? You got Sherry. That is so cute. That is so cute. I love that. I really need to mind my posture because I get like really weird posture when I'm playing and I'm like locking in. Did you actually swap to Genji?
A sip for the parched.
He was
I'm
already
having
Genji.
so many like
You cannot escape me.
like lag, so much lag. Not lag, it's like iconics. Frame drops. I'm having loads of frame drops. It's actually insane.
Nice. Ah, fuck.
Receive my aid. My condition is improved.
Thank you.
Or a bridge.
I'm trying. What are you with these frame drops, man? What's up? Oh my god, this is actually crazy. I can't play like this. This is unplayable. This is unplayable. This is unplayable. This is unplayable. Ow. This is so unplayable. Thank you for locking me.
You're welcome.
Chat, I'm having so... Wait, it's Happy Pebble what? Come here. Oh my god, my frame drops are crazy right now. Oh, I think it's because it's recording at the same time. Hold up.
You're recording?
It's outplayed. It's automatic.
What is it now?
And I forget to close the app.
Ah,
I think it's better now.
I'm going back down for them.
To be honest, I should be able to stand both recording and... Aye.
Lending a hand? Grant me an ember from your hearts. Receive my aid.
Kill a mercy, kill a mercy. I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Frame drops with a 5070 Ti. Not too right. No, sorry. That is actually like this is actually really annoying. But yeah, it should. It should.
All the tales.
Right? What's happening? I also love that his name is Steve. Is Steve in
Steve.
chat? I knew I know he's in chat, but is he actually like chat or like lurk chat? What kind of chat? I love when chat is having conversations. I love to be there in spirit, guys. No, continue. I'm not complaining. I'm being honest. That sounded so bitchy. Kill the warrior.
Shit.
Bye bye.
I was trying so hard to hide from the dead eye.
You're in chat. Welcome into chat. Thank you very much.
We have suffered a minor setback. Cannot escape me.
Oh,
I can't
reactivating
get you
player.
from all the way over there. Fuck.
Preparing you for your
I'm sick. Why is he doing this?
What, the tank?
over here.
Why are we in here?
I am ready to unleash coalescence.
I'm on you.
Surrender to your mother.
Ah, fuck. Whoa. What is with this? What killed me?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh.
talking about. Cassidy
There's a
behind my
perk
back.
for
Cassidy behind me.
Cassidy.
Cassidy behind me. Shit.
Cass can deal damage over time. He used that perk. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's so on par like Moira. But I have the better skin.
Bothersome.
Skin buff, skin buff.
Skin buff? Yeah. I have the better skin.
Oh
I
my
got it on
god.
the vault and then I... Stop peeking!
What is this guy trying? Bro.
It's quick play. It's whatever. Just need to warm up in it.
Totally. Oh, too high.
Where's the Junkrat? I
Junkrat
just feel
died.
like... Okay. It was nice knowing you. Crazy orb.
Oh my god.
Which is the craziest point ever of my life. Well,
Oh fuck. I accidentally switched too early.
Mending you.
is that what he says? I'm trying to learn.
I offer something more.
I don't know. Can't tell you.
This guy's trying hard but not hard enough. Yeah, I haven't seen his PP yet, so it's not hard enough.
Surrender to your mother.
Unless he's trying to get res.
Oh my god.
Oh,
This game is
so
crazy.
close.
Syndra 11 Steve. Is that the emo? I can't see it in this in the stream manager. I can't see it. It's unfortunate. Wow.
Your end is with
I've sent you the wrong orb. I apologize.
Hello there. A sip for the part. The payload needs to be moved. Receive my aid. I see a hostile.
씨발.
He's low.
What is it now?
Fuck.
She was getting that damage.
A sip for the parched.
Nice.
Nice.
The payload moves
Got her.
with certainty.
You found a six. Oh my god, is that Shrek?
Yes.
Is that? I would smash. Okay, I kept
Look.
saying
Shrek is love.
I need to have a serious
Shrek is love.
conversation with you guys. This is extremely serious. It's like life or death situation. I kept saying that I would only do anything with like human Shrek, but I don't know, guys. I don't know anymore.
What changed? What changed? I'm being sucked off.
I've come to terms that I'm a furry.
Interesting.
Oh, shit, GG's. It's not GG's.
You're slipping away. On a mother's kindness.
If you can fade towards back, I can
Nope, 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 nope,
ult
nope,
you.
nope.
Oh fuck! I used the wrong
I'm
one.
gonna die. Oh my
I
god,
pressed the
didn't die.
wrong thing. I pressed the wrong thing.
Moira!
Ah, I can't believe I pressed the wrong. We're supposed to regular click, not right click.
Oh,
So I was
I
trying to
can't get there in time.
I was trying to ult you, and I pressed the wrong button. Ah!
Oh my god, I'm just being thrown around by fucking Junkrat bombs.
To your mother.
I can't touch. Sorry, I tried. GG's. I need what?
I blame
Chat.
soldier, our soldier slash Bastion.
It was the ult. Yeah, it was the ult. A little bit crazy, to be honest.
Did someone leave?
Me? Why does it keep doing that? I left this group, didn't I?
Nope.
It's been doing that recently, actually. To be fair. So.
Yeah, it was doing that to Cat as well. Guys,
Yeah.
I chat in for 3 minutes and a half. Guys, I'm scared for placements.
It'll be
I'm glad
fine.
I'm glad for the reset though. And how do you know it will be fine? Do you know where I ended up last season?
Honey, it's called manifesting.
That's called being delusional.
Done. The Nile is the river ninja. Your
You're-
boyfriend's gay.
You're okay. You played some conf today for a change? Yeah, I haven't been playing much. And how did that go? Did you place?
Oh, I'm so sad.
Is this a persona? Oh, why are you sad? Sorry.
I've played 77 games. I've used
Of
up all of my loot
Stadium?
boxes. No, just regular Stadium games grant double progress, so I played 77 games in total.
You're cracked. I need to lower the brightness because it's killing
I
me.
don't know what that means.
You're cracked. Don't know what cracked means? Have you ever had your back cracked? That's what it means.
Okay.
6 placements. How many is it? Also,
10.
I don't think you like that joke, Tin. It's very sad.
I'm just confused.
Have you ever had your back cracked? What do you think getting your back cracked means?
I don't know, stretching. I can crack my back right now.
I'm actually
You
like
can't hear it.
losing the plot right now. Getting your back cracked. Have you ever cracked? Have you ever cracked someone's back? And have you ever had your back cracked?
Yes, I've cracked many people's backs.
Cool. So what does crack mean?
I hold the key.
You've had your back cracked, right? And you've cracked. And you've had.
Chat, I think Dulce is turning
I'm
senile.
broken. I'm
Dulce is
having
no
my
longer
brain crack.
mother, she's grandmother. A vazinha.
Nana. That's insane. So you've cracked people's
Lola.
backs and you've had people cracking your back. So what does cracked mean?
I read compies as cream pies, damn. I don't know.
Exactly. So when you cream pie, you're cracking
I'm
someone's back. There you go.
I didn't realize you were being dirty gal. So you it's fine if you are dirty in front of me, but if I'm dirty in front of you, it's not good.
Exactly.
Since your mother.
You're not an
Aye,
adult. That's how it works. But I don't mind it.
I think I want to play.
I don't think I can play this game. I think I know why I'm in Silver 3. It's because I can't play this game. And I need to accept that.
Tin is older than I'll ever be. Bruh.
How do we reset?
Oh shit, the fucking widow got me.
Usually you'll have pillow talk. You'll take a deep breath. Some people like to smoke in bed. I don't understand what's up with that. Smoking in bed right after you've had your back cracked. I saw that in movies growing up. We'll never understand. But that's how you reset, apparently. Yeah, freeze that bitch. You're getting all my
There's a
fucking
reason
kills,
why
bro.
I don't play fucking DPS. So bad. I'm so bad.
You're not in charge anymore.
You're not bad. You're cracked.
So you're saying I'm bad.
Oh, it didn't work.
different
I'll
way.
reload in a second. I think we all need to stop thinking about ourselves for a little bit.
Receive my aid.
No, not in my... No! My son!
Bro! This army is throwing. They're not doing the walls fast enough.
I didn't have one.
I'm joking.
Reloading. Nice.
The tree's going down in a second. Who's a life weaver?
Where is this damn widow?
Behind my wall.
Oh, good. Whoa!
Surrender to your mother.
Sorry about that.
How have you not died yet? I'm very confused.
You know that I do it. You love that I do it. You know my weakness is you.
I need lemon tea.
They did... Oh my god, they...
Oh my god, I out widow. But like, it's not widow.
You out-sniped widow?
That.
Who's Vid? Vid is widow.
Yeah, because I keep jumping, so she cannot shoot me.
They nerfed the orb instant heal. I chose
Yeah.
the wrong one. I don't even know which one I've got.
Watch out.
Hanlan. I still find it so funny. So many tanks do not go in when they get Li Wan Kuan-langed.
I cannot heal you yet.
This one went in. No, no, you're gonna die, man.
Fuck. Oh, I fell into the house. I didn't mean that.
There's a test subject.
I can't.
No
help you.
way! Bro was trying to... Did I hear my name? No. I think.
Fabric of the cosmos. I'm restored.
Freeze!
Running 3 wheels.
Ow.
3 wheels. Damn, you don't talk about me anymore. What do you mean?
Stanger lap.
Where's Farah to do the shimmy shimmy? Oh my god, I love studying just because I have a
Bro,
Farah doing the
wow.
shimmy shimmy. I don't like these perks. These perks are disgusting.
A cure for all the
Tin hates me. I don't hate
Yeah,
you.
Mario Parks are not good this season.
It's tree. I literally took medicine and I feel better. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Motherfucker.
I have no idea what perk I just picked. I don't know who you are, but thank you. You seem pretty swell as well.
That's Zoe. That's my wifey.
Me.
enemy turret within my sight.
I just took some more medicine as well, so that
Zoe's
should kick in
great.
like soon.
Is Gloucester Leo? Or is Leo
Yes.
Leo? I knew
Both.
it!
I have very many Leos in my chat nowadays.
Do you attract Leos? As in...
Glosa. My sister's a Leo.
With a Leo... With a Libra, that's not so bad.
Ah, shh. You said we could play Gunfire? Yeah.
Don't worry.
But that was like very. As soon as I woke up, I felt like absolute shit. I tried. Then I took medicine.
Nice, hi.
And it took, what, many hours for it to kick in.
Enemy turret ahead. Watch yourselves.
Guys, a hi.
I'll make it worth your while.
Catch me.
Thank you.
Boosting your damage.
It's go time.
Your backup is here. Thanks for looking out for me.
Enemy turret destroyed. Let's get back to basics.
Freeze!
Ah?
Ugh.
Oh my god, they're so
Nice.
low.
Oh, shit! Glosa is Leo 1, Leonoid is Leo 2, and then Leo Lumpia is Leo 3.
Oh my god.
I'm not sick, but seasonal pressure show hurt early this year. Honestly,
I better be more careful.
bro, this Torb is feisty. Why can't I not shoot?
Now it's going to get interesting.
This life whip is literally pulling me into the most random fucking position.
Making a full recovery.
Oh my god, this Cassidy's perk. What is this? Silver Bullet. Peacekeeper secondary fire is replaced with a piercing shot that inflicts bleeding.
Never die.
Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Not on my watch.
Lee Wan Kwang.
Feeding more power. Nerf this. Enemy turret ahead.
I had no idea where she was. Feel better soon, Leo. You got this. Someone behind you. Mama, Cassidy behind you. Okay, let's do leave. Oh, leave us group. Okay, is it going to work now? Did it work?
You still
Did
left
you
the
guys
group.
leave?
No, it didn't work. It didn't work.
Aye. Oh, it's because I'm not the. No, but I had the option.
Yeah, I don't know. Act like
I'm
a
so
bitch a
confused.
bit. Honestly.
Get on the floor.
Also, Dulce,
Mm.
do we like supporting small artists? Because I'm trying to help someone get their VGen code, and we need some likes on a post in order for them to get it.
Sure.
Sure.
Eh?
I don't understand what you're asking of me. I'm just looking at Junker Queen right now and I'm thirsting. What you want of me?
Okay.
Do you want me to go on
Well,
like a
chat.
tweet? I don't have Twitter.
Is it okay if I post it into the chat?
Oh my god, yeah, of course, darling. Please,
Oh.
we're past
Well,
that.
chat. We need some likes on this post. They need 100 likes in order to get their VGen code in order to be like a seller on VGen for commissions. So if you guys could please like this post. We did the retweet goal already, but the likes is all that's left. So if you guys could help, that'd be great. Thank you.
She's so hot.
You are such a lesbian.
Silly dollar bean.
Anyway, so
Meow. I saw a really good Junker Queen. Okay, I need to show you guys this. I'm going to be so respectful, okay, chat? I'm going to be so respectful. I'm going to be respect. No, I am, because it's a real person. And even if she was a fictional, I would still be respectful. I'm lying right now.
Really? Yeah.
Right.
You are.
I sent it to Kat, and it's somewhere in here. Hold up. Yes, I'm leaking my. Where is it? Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold up. Pull up. Let me spot. Let me Spotify. Desktop scene. Let me make sure that you guys can. Let me mute Discord for a hot second. And let me make sure. Yeah, it's on the right one. Okay, chat. You ready?
I'ma let y'all know when the fuck I'm through. Like, they like the way I grind, they like the way I flirt. I'ma let y'all know when the fuck I'm through. Like, they like the way I grind, they like the way I flirt. I'ma let
Oh wow.
Her username
Slay.
is Samu Cosp, and she's really she has really good cosplays. But I just saw her cosplay was so hot, and I mean it's so respectful. I mean it. But look, it's so good. Her cosplay is really good. Look at all the details.
I was gonna ask, how on earth did you fail the first verification?
Wait, what?
When you were doing the spinning thing to make the puzzle fit, how did you fail the first one?
Because I'm blind.
Wait, I'm gonna clip that.
Her cosplays are so good. Did it help me getting, like, I kind of want to play Junker Queen now. I'm not even lying. But the problem is, if I'm playing Junker Queen, I can't see her. And my thing with Junker Queen is that I want to see her. So I need you, one of you little bitches, to start playing Junker Queen. Toad plays Junker Queen. Where Unstable Toad plays Junker Queen. I need you guys to start playing Junker Queen. Follow his example. This is such a good... Look at the t-shirts. So good. Anyways. Face card never declines, my god. 8 left no crumbs. Yabba yabba yabba. I need to unmute Discord now. Where's Discord? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, I'm getting rated once again.
Oh, sorry. This song is so banger. Did he mute us? Oh, he did. So we can
It's getting rated.
This is a white match. That's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we try and custom game.
What do you want to do? Do you want to be the leader? For the oh, never mind. Well, that was quite quick.
Choose your map.
It is killing me. I hate these maps with a passion, man. Do I even enjoy playing this game? Be so honest with me.
I don't think so. Who
Do
does,
I
to be honest?
enjoy being an Overwatch streamer? Yes, I enjoy being a streamer. Do I enjoy being an Overwatch streamer? Question. That's okay. Once we leave gold, if I'm not even in gold.
I have not done my DPS placements yet.
I'm not even in gold yet. so depressing, Chad.
Choose hero.
Wait, what haven't you done?
DPS placement.
Well, that's what we're here for. Oh no, you both are doing DPS. Slay. Can we ban Mercy? I'm not even joking. Ryan. Farah. Farita. As in I did not I just called Farah Farita by accident. Okay, so in Portuguese we add itas lovingly, okay? So I was calling her Farita, not Farita, and I made it sound like I'm very sorry. Oh my god, no one's placed here.
Vegeta.
What?
Vegeta.
What?
Chicken Vegeta.
Let's go, lesbians. Let's go, lesbians.
What on earth is Vegeta meaning? Why are we talking about
Single.
vagitas?
And is
Humanity is
Walla.
shackled.
Walla. Power up, lesbians!
I got my time. It's done.
Why are you laughing like that?
Predict everything.
Oh.
Bad message from I get lesbians now? I don't get lesbians. That's why I'm still single.
I may need
Single-
to go to sleep and sleep for 4 days. Oh my god. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, please. Take care of yourself.
Okay.
Ruination is imminent.
Okay, this is comp.
They're playing Chunga Queen.
Oh, fuck. I'm half health. Ah! That surgeon just fell into the hole.
That's sexy.
Thank you.
Can you go find a fucking box to heal? Please? Don't you see
Me?
I have a rabbit tank on my ass?
I don't know where they are. That's the problem.
Please?
Oh my
I
god.
raised you to be an independent gay man! A single... A single... Well, thanks, Zoe. That makes me feel so much... Sorry, my son. I did not mean to upset you like that. I apologize that your mother screamed at you. As your mother, that is really out of bounds. And I should not scream at my sons. Because that's not how we function in society.
Oh, that Anna's so low.
God, are you kidding me? So this is how placements are going? That's amazing.
Fuck this cast, man.
We're here for a good time. We're here for a good time. We're here for a good time. I have to make Almost Pope proud. Because she posted a TikTok the other day teaching everyone how to remain calm under the stress of toxic people. Gotta meet them where they at. No, actually, you gotta meet them above where they at. You need to. I don't remember what she taught me because it's complicated. Stop! This beard is killing me!
I like the new badge that Stream Elements has now.
What do you have?
So all of the like verified chatbots have a new badge, and
Reforming you.
then it looks pretty cute.
Surrender to your mother.
Time for the reckoning.
I didn't see the cast. Yeah, I had no shot against him.
Great minds are always persecuted.
I have something in my mouth. It's okay, it's a wide match, guys. It's gonna be hard.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm asleep. Never mind. Who's Hysteria Man?
The Life Weaver.
Oh, they're Life Weaver. I'm not fucking up anyone. We were losing until like a second ago. Can you feel the heat tonight? Oh, it is.
Misery made manifest.
Queen's gonna have ult.
Again?
This ends now.
I know the fabric of the cosmos.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. No.
No wound is truly mortal.
Why didn't you say that there was a cast with you? I
I've
would
been pinging the entire time.
The pings don't show up if you're looking the other way. Fuck.
No, I'm
Literally, the
trying.
only reason why I noticed you were having trouble is because May was moaning.
Oh, I love when they moan.
I'm on point. I'm still on point.
Me and
got
Ryan are
freeze.
on our way.
Oh,
Oh.
nice try.
I've dealt with cynics.
Nice try.
Fuck! No, Ryan could have totally gotten to the point faster. Because there's a way to do it with his dash without crashing into anything.
We
but it's cool.
ended up getting fucked. Why are they slurring the word lesbians? Like, get a better bot.
It might be the word fuck.
Oh, with the strap. Oh, I love a strap.
Miss ma'am.
Throw your first fucking stone!
One. Round two. Capture the
The side eye I'm giving the camera right now.
Shut up, chicken.
Reforming you.
Who's the chicken?
Poison.
Oh, it's our tank. Most mild of them. This is literally mild. I don't know what they're on about.
Fucking tank.
Yeah, it's
Ah.
a hard game.
Simpact play replaces biotic field on use.
Bobby came under my blanket for some fuss and cuddles. What was he fussing about? What was our lovely baby fussing about? I want to meet Bobby.
Evolution is a painful path to walk.
I want to meet Toothless. I want to meet Lily. Who else?
Ruination is imminent.
Man, he needs to swap out of Ryan. I'm not gonna lie.
Pain is inevitable.
Cass is on the bridge. Can't get to him. Got him. Soldier's dead as well. DPS is gone.
Break the chains.
Juno's still alive somewhere. Oh, I know. Never mind.
Your end.
Get over here, Dulce.
Don't tell me what to do! Thank you.
You need only ask for my
Oh.
help. Ruination is imminent.
Oh, fuck my orb.
Oh, fuck, I fell off. Fuck.
Pain is inevitable. Receive my aid.
Nope.
Careful, we're outnumbered.
Have fun. I will look. Thank you for the look. Take care, Soul. I was gonna say Vault.
Surrender to your mother. This ends now. Purge the enemy from our objective.
Oh my god, how did they do that?
Let's get back to basics.
Oh my god.
It's a bit of a tank diff, I think. In terms of finishing the elims. He made biscuits! What biscuits did he make? Chalky chicken? Chalky chickies? Chalky biscuits?
Chicken biscuits. Interesting.
That's disgusting. I don't eat chicken. I know no one got my pita joke when I posted it on TikTok and it was so embarrassing I had to delete. But it did sound like I was actually complaining that Dragon Age is not a vegan game. Okay, I was being sarcastic. Anyways, next question. But I am vegetarian, so I don't eat chicken.
Need a moment to recharge.
Oh. No. Oh my god.
On the objective.
Damn. Come back. What's this?
He
Fall back,
loves.
fall
Does
back,
he
fall-
love chicken? Does he like
Trying,
simple
but, like-
chicken, or like
Progress is seldom.
marinated chicken or seasoned chicken?
You need only ask for my help.
What does he enjoy? Yeah. Fuck them. Fuck them in the ass. Fuck them in the ass. Fuck them in the ass.
We need to touch, we need to
The
touch.
point.
No! Fucking Life Weaver, man!
Oh my god.
Evolution is a painful path to walk. Hello. Moragwit. Hello there.
Shit, how?
I'm still here.
Poison. Surrender to your mother.
Touch, touch,
Get
touch,
the
touch.
point, get the point.
Claiming the objective. Assist me. Unassailable threat.
Good job. Damn right.
Oh my
Push.
God. Oh my
Push.
God.
Damn right. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
Score 1-1.
That Cassidy though, man.
I should crush you like a bug for what you've done.
Did you know that certain centipedes kill prey 15 times?
Anyone like
their
Josh
size?
Dunn?
What are you saying?
Who the fuck
I'm
is Josh
hiding
Dunn?
my prey, not to test me.
5, 4, 3,
Who's that?
round 3.
I feel old.
Capture the objective.
Come on, we win this. I ain't fucking about.
I'm under attack. You will be renewed.
Shit.
Do they have a sniper?
Yep.
Fucking
was
is
that?
the soldier. The problem is the fucking
Oh, no,
not soldier,
nice.
sojourn.
I thought it was. Fuck, man.
Cassidy dead.
No mother's kindness. Succumb to your end.
There's so many of them here, man.
Pain is inevitable. Shornish.
Their queen is half, but Cass is back again.
The weak can fend for themselves.
Anna's dead. Oh shit.
I'm sorry. We're so locked in. We're so locked in. We're so locked in.
Misery made man. Over here.
Cass is too skinny, man. His hitbox is way too small.
He's Bella Hadid. He loves ice cream, and we only give him a time with Dunkot. Oh, that is so cute.
Eyes open now.
If my cats had ever tried like ice cream, oh, my mother is accounted for.
I require assistance. Let go.
Cass is coming on point.
Receive my surrender to your
Oh my god, Life Weaver. Oh, dead. Never mind. I am gonna have my ult in a few seconds. Got it.
Stop! 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 I fell for that. This game stresses me the fuck out, man.
My
Okay.
essence has reformed.
I have my ult. Did that queen ult
Yeah.
too early?
Hello there.
Beer.
Pain is-
Oh, I fucked up my orb.
Mending you. There's a test subject. Take caution.
Sorry for out in just a
Cass with me.
second. They're already grouping up.
Oh,
We need to
shit.
group up.
I'm under attack.
They're on point.
A cure for all the
Sorry, Junker Queen, I love you. How did she kept?
end is within my reach.
If I could just get there and ult.
Grant me
Is everyone in there?
your hearts.
They're dead.
Ah, fuck! I did it too early.
It's
Oh
fine,
well.
it's fine, it's fine.
A taste of poison.
GG's! Love you, Life Weaver.
Jesus Christ.
Have a blessed day, and I am endorsing that Life Weaver.
Play of the game.
Neither will lesbian hate be taught. And that's what's up. Love this entire. I love you too. Damn right. Damn right.
That was my first. placement.
My predicted is silver 2.
I'm silver 5.
What?
Is that a good or a bad thing?
For me? Or for you?
You.
I ended a season gold 1. How am I silver 2?
It's gonna change when the more you play.
check my predicted right now? Who's gonna check?
Bronze 2, I can see it, don't worry. I feel even worse for you.
Blizzard, I know where your headquarters are. I have a passport. I can actually have 2 passports if I wanted to. I could buy a second passport, and I could
Slay.
easily more. I could get to your headquarters more easily, actually. I know where your headquarters are. You find it. Hey, this is all just jokes, okay? I would never hurt anyone. I would never hurt anyone. Never.
Apart from Blizzard.
Welcome back from ads, everyone. So we don't talk about this.
No se habla de this.
No se habla de eso. No, 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 no. No se habla de eso, no.
Also, do I buy the Mercy skin or not?
I don't think we should give our money to Blizzard. Personally
Oh.
speaking, I think we should boycott this company from our money. I will happily play the game for free. I am not giving them any more of my money as long as they keep telling me that my predicted is bronze 2. That's crazy. Where's that?
Hey, it will
video
go up.
shit? Bye. What do you
If you
mean
keep
that will go
winning,
up?
it
Did you
will
see-
go up.
Did you see the crazy game? If we keep winning, wow! Aren't you a faithful one?
Bah, when I was trying to be manifesting, you called me delusional. Pick your struggle. Pick your
What
struggle.
do you mean?
I was like, we're gonna win this, and you're like, you're being delulu, and I was like, damn,
Yeah,
okay.
that, my whole. I remain consistent. That's my whole point right now. What are you talking about?
I don't know
Can
anymore.
we queue?
I don't
Oh,
know
we are
anymore.
queuing.
We are cute.
Can we join custom game?
Open your fucking eyes.
Join a
I am
fucking
s-
custom game.
Which fucking
I
game?
need to keep my brain occupied. Go to custom game.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot just be a skirmish if you want.
Oh my god.
I just need to keep shooting.
Just
I want to
do
show
it.
you an emote.
Just do it. You're the
It's a fucking
leader.
skirmish.
Oh, okay. What do you want to show me?
Honor is all I have left.
Where you at?
Are you Hanzo?
We are behind you.
Is that the battle pass? I'm in a
Yes, it's on the
skater boy.
battle pass.
I said see you later, boy. And it just keeps going. It just
Yep.
keeps going.
The
That's
only things you can
crazy.
use is left and right. It won't stop. Whee!
That's
Let's go to
crazy.
the other
Ow.
side.
That's crazy.
What is
I
it?
want it.
This way.
But you said no money for Blizzard, so no
Oh,
battle
shit,
pass for you.
fuck me.
Consistent too. Where do we want to
No, I
go?
prefer Rialto.
We went Rialto.
This is actually insane. How are you
Huh.
kidding me? Bronze 2.
Select your hero.
You'll be
It's just a
fine.
predicted.
It's going up, up, up. It's our
I
moment.
thought they were gonna place me in platinum.
Select hero bands.
A girl can
You
dream.
need to work for it.
Fuck
Yeah, work.
that! They put me in plat the first time I played. Why did I not stay there?
You don't want Hanzo?
He's
No.
disgusting right now.
Why?
I hate
Actually.
Hanzo.
Yeah,
He's my other main though.
he's a log
Okay.
thrower.
I'll do cast Tracer then.
Ah, shit.
No, I hate
wait,
Hanzo.
I pressed the wrong thing. Oh well.
Wow, wow, wow.
If we're defending, I can probably Hanzo this.
Oh my god, 3 lesbians and a friend.
They're French. 3 lesbians and a Frenchman in a room. They might kiss. Why am I being outed for my Moira shenanigans?
Huh?
In a room, they might kiss. You guys are not lesbians.
Shackled. I hold the key.
You are no one to tell me what I am. You hear me, mother? If you ever tell me it's just a face again, I will out you.
For what?
I will make sure you get cancelled.
For what?
I saw you carving wooden charms earlier. Can I see?
Yeah, I did that.
Honed my skills enough.
Oh,
Jesus, do you
want me to show you?
What's up,
Then-
panda?
mute chat, man?
5, 4, 3,
I goon to like Toru.
1. Attack commencing. Escort the payload.
Do these people know the game they're playing?
Ruination is imminent.
I don't think they know they're playing like a hellish of a gay game.
Reforming you.
Tank, 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 tank.
Big style.
Fuck.
Oh fuck!
I'm going around.
Fucked up my jump.
Pain is inevitable.
Excuse me, there shall be no canceling here, thank you. I nearly canceled myself last night. For not gonna repeat that actually. It was
Oh, shit.
it was an intrusive thought that I said out loud, and I should have kept my mouth shut,
Made manifest.
even though it was a joke.
Hmm. I'm doing a really bad job.
No, you're not.
A cure for all the tales.
Ash is up there. Watch out. Oh, you got him. Bap got him.
Ow!
Watson, from
My DPI is
Overwatch.
so high right now. Like too high.
Repairing your cellular makeup. You cannot escape me.
Oh, hi, Holly! I'm sorry, darling. Hi, wifey. Sorry, How are you doing, my love? How's your day been? What?
What?
That'll lose your fucking kill.
Receive my
Oh, thanks.
reforming you. I must recharge.
Such an half.
You're enjoying your day,
Such a love.
Such an one.
Stanger lap.
Got her. Gonna ult.
Tank.
You fell into the ult. You should be low as fuck, boy. Punch him. Punch him.
He's gone.
Got Lucio as well. Oh my god.
Sip for the parched.
Oh. Where were my heels? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
my pocket?
Damn. And you didn't want to share?
You're having
the
a
grandma
wonderful
you are.
chill day? Did you just call me a fucking grandma? Pull up, I'm speaking to my wife. You're gonna sit
Give-
down and you're gonna chill, okay, whilst I speak to my wife. What
Give
did
me
you
some
do?
candy.
Pain is inevitable.
This is why you don't place me in bronze 2, because then the MMR gets fucked, and then the games become too easy. And I probably just jinxed it.
Don't complain about it right now because I kind of want some easy games. I can't lie.
Yeah, but what's
Oh,
the
it's
fun in
still a
that?
bit sick, perhaps.
Like, the other game wasn't easy, and we won, and, like, the victory just felt so sweet.
Got him.
This ends now.
No. Yeah, this ends not for you, babes. And me, apparently. Yeah, Tin, are you still ill?
Yes.
What are you ill with?
Minds are always
I don't know.
Other than hotness? Because you're my son.
Slay.
What do you mean hotness?
All my sons have this devastating illness that they
Oh.
are born with. They're hot. Not to sexualize my own sons, because, like, that would be really disgusting. But, like, you know, you have eyes.
What was I gonna say? Cod said the most.
Why is everyone and their mother ulting? Jesus
Because
Christ.
everyone knows the point.
Con said the most. What's it? Shrimpy thing to me earlier. So he bought the battle pass, and I was like, I got the hot guy skin, and I was like, oh, so you think he's hot? Damn. And he goes, no. I was like, you just call him the hot guy skin. He said, no. I said, what about me? And he goes, no one's gonna be hotter than you. And I was like, the foot? Wait, hold up. Wait, hold on.
I'm having a back being cracked kind of moment. Like, now I'm experiencing the back being cracked.
I don't know what that
situation.
means.
You know when you were
That's cute.
confused about what cracked meant, and I had to explain what cracked meant by, have you ever gotten your back cracked? And have you ever cracked anyone's back? But you were still confused. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. I mean, oh. Wait,
Oh, yes.
GG's.
That should
Wait,
get me
no.
play the game. That should get me play the game.
It's
Play
not
the
GG's
game.
yet. It's not GG's yet.
I know, but I got an alt kill and 3 kills. So hopefully.
I just spilled water all over my fucking face.
Han, we're not at water bomb Korea.
I don't know what that is.
Play the game. I hope so. But Jude, hello. Should I still play Hanzo?
Huge slay, Holly. Are you up to anything
I don't know
exciting
what
this week,
skin to
cunt?
use. Do you say cunt or cunt?
I said, Holly,
Excuse
are you
me.
up to anything exciting this weekend? Not everything is about you.
Oh, you said weekend. I had end as.
I'll see this matter resolved.
Don't mind me. Hang in there. Chilling.
How does our Kiriko only have 900 healing?
I don't know. I
know she
didn't realize we even had a
swapped.
Kiriko.
She swapped. Do we have someone new?
Can I see?
I
That's actually crazy. I didn't even notice that.
What?
I
That
am.
she only has 900
Look
healing.
at my 5,000 healing and her 900. That's actually insane.
That's probably why you're taking everyone's healing.
Yeah, that's
I
actually.
wonder if she's
insane.
like trying to heal people, but you're healing them before the Afudas get there.
How?
They have echo.
Then come here for I'm with you.
I don't know why I'm here.
Group up.
Oh my god, that's my fault to be honest. That is my fault. That is my fault.
I'm behind. You can heal me.
Okay, I'm gonna switch.
Lending a hand.
I'm done
No, don't
nerfing
switch,
myself.
don't switch. It was just a bit of a disorganized mess.
Cat, hello.
Hi, baby.
Baby grill.
Where's my Kato? How's my Kato?
You'd only ask for my help. The weak can fend for themselves.
If we lose this game, I swear to God.
We'll blame the Kiriko.
Nah, it's fine. I'm healing. Tank, 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 tank. They're so low.
I got Kiriko.
Ash, 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 ash. She's what?
Ash done 2. Sejal 2. Nice hair. My weapon accuracy is so bad right now.
Well,
Same.
our Juno now got to 1,000 healing. 700.
Slay.
Slay.
Per.
Sun on our heads. Americano. Nice.
It's fine. I'm dying so she can heal.
Oh, how considerate.
No opposition is insurmountable.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm
I don't
dying
know
so
about
she
that.
can heal a little bit more, and so that will help towards her comp stats.
Be nurtured. Eyes open now.
Fucking Kiriko, man, on the other team.
Nice.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm on fire.
Must recharge. Hold on.
Fire, fire, pins on fire.
Your end is within my reach.
Okay. This. How do you do? How do
How are you,
how do
Kat?
you are do? How do our how do you are do? Okay, I'm not tripping.
Are you getting your back cracked right now?
I don't know what that means. Still, I can't lie.
You're cracked! You're good at something, man!
Oh, okay. No, because you were using that as like a sex thing, and I was like, no one's
Because you're
fucking
cracking
me.
someone's back. It takes a lot to crack someone's back. You have to be good at cracking someone's back. Therefore, you're cracked. Therefore, your back is cracked. Or you're cracking someone's back. Therefore, their back is.
Baby
You
shark do 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 do
understand?
do do. Baby shark do 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 do.
Uh,
Receive my aid.
I'm not gonna make it though.
Be cautious.
Suck that, Kiriko.
I'm trying, but she's good. She has really. Oh my god, she's still behind me, man.
There are too many cracks there. Butt cracks.
There was too many cracks there.
Great
And you
minds
know what?
always persist.
What about pussies being cracked? No one ever talks about pussies being cracked. It takes
Well, I need
skill
healing.
to crack pussies and to get your pussies cracked.
You can't surrender to your mother.
Nope,
Point up.
nope, 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 nope,
No,
no!
Ah, shit.
the fact I can ult on the in the fucking air is stupid.
This game
He
stresses
can?
me out, guys.
He just did.
I'm so sorry. You know how people say they blew my back out or you got your back blown out when you have a good hookup? It's like, exactly. That's how I explain. If your kitty is cracking, you may want to seek medical attention.
You might want to moisturize.
Moisturize kitties.
I was.
Enhance
Do you know how vaginas
When you got like cracked
work?
elbows, that's.
I know you're gay, but do
Of
you know
course
how
I
vaginas
don't.
work?
You know, funny enough, I actually missed that part of sex ed.
Did you actually?
It was the one day that I missed, and it was Vagina Day, and I was like, oh. So genuinely, I don't know how anything works, or even. Yes. The only knowledge I have, Omegaverse.
No, that's insane!
Yeah. Oh, oh no. Yeah, so
That's
I know that
insane, that's insane.
omegas, betas,
So,
alphas,
how do I
omegas
say?
go in
Okay, actually, I
heat.
can't judge. You know why? I
Why?
learned. Okay, Chad, you shouldn't do this. But like, you grew up as a One Direction fan, and you're a bit of a nerd. You're not. How do I say this without sounding like a fucking creep? Okay, I've been a teenager. Okay, I wasn't getting it when I was younger. So I relied a lot like on fan fiction to like learn how sex work, and I'm really trying not to make this weird because that's such a sensitive part of anyone's life. And if there is, oh my goodness, but like, you know, but like learning about vaginas in the Omegaverse is like something else. At least I was, but I can't judge it because I was learning it in One Direction fanfiction.
Slay.
So I can't judge you, Danny. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Thank you. I also learned the whole sex stuff through doujinshis.
What is
If anyone
that?
understands what that means. Let's just say like gay manga.
I like BL.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god.
Surrender to your mother.
Bob is on my ass. But I got him.
I actually like the reverse thing. I had to explain to Dwayne the family sold me. Oh my god! Did you actually? Zoe, do you not know that what being sold to One Direction is? Oh my god! Let
is
me
that?
tell you. You also don't know. Let me tell you. One Direction peaked when they were they were buying little girls from their families, okay? In fan fiction. Just for legal reasons, this was all fan fiction, okay? But basically, there was this trope in the One Direction fandom where you would write about one day your mother was just, or your dad or your entire family was just like tired of you, right? And they didn't want shit to do with you anymore. So they would just sell you to One Direction, and then that's how you...
I'm fucked.
That's how you were sold to One Direction and you fell in love with Harry Styles.
Oh my god. I'm gonna ult behind them.
Wait for us, wait for us.
I can't because
Okay,
everyone's
they're in double time.
fuck me, man. I'm being chased by a soldier as well. Again? When they just got there, Bob.
I also got my ult.
Okay.
GG's.
One day in the early fire direction. Oh, One Direction, sorry. One Direction days, someone wrote a whole fanfiction that their family sold them into One Direction. This spiraled into every fandom, then writing some sort of I was sold to blank, and kickstarted the whole plotline in popular romantasy literature. Interesting. Interesting. And you know what I have to say about this whole thing? Touch some grass.
That's insane coming from you, okay? Wow.
What? Say that again? That's what coming from me?
That's insane coming from you.
What do you mean? I don't fantasize about being sold to
I
celebrities.
didn't like those in specific. Do you know the trope of my fan fiction that went a bit crazy? Which one did you get? Blueberry! That suits you. Can you guys hear the alert? as well, or is it just me? Can you guys hear it?
Kings Row or Hollywood? I like Kings Row. Oh, you should have seen the K-pop fanfics back in 2010s.
How were they? I wasn't into K-pop at that time. I can't even say if I'm into K-pop right now.
I was just a regular person who listened to K-pop.
Select your
Oh, you were a regular person.
Yeah, who didn't fantasize about.
Why are you
Everything
blaming?
within-
Why are you accusing me?
Oh fuck my fave. Nani?
I did not like those fan fictions.
I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming chat.
Why are you blaming chat? Leave my One Direction chat alone.
All right.
You know I love you.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck Tracer, man. I was just in Tumblr. Exactly, Holly. I did write Zayn Malik fan fiction on Tumblr. What can I say? I was one of them girls. I wrote a fan fiction about lost friends turned lovers, as in like they were childhood friends who lost their friendship and then later in life they turned lovers. So basically my whole fan fiction was the main character was called Viola and she was a long time. Did I hear K-pop Demon Hunters in chat? Did you? And she was always in love with Zayn Malik, but then he went off to X Factor, an AO3 writer. No, a Tumblr writer. I didn't know what AO3 was at the time. But I also wrote on Wattpad. Oh man, I did a historical rewriting of Henry VIII, but I wrote him as in Henry Styles. And I did not make him nearly twice as much. I rewrote Henry VIII as Harry Styles. I forgot about that one. Don't even.
Chat.
Come now, doctor.
Blink twice if you need help.
Oh my god, I'm getting red. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did that. I did do that. I did that, and I posted it on Wattpad. What are you gonna do about it? I probably still have it up on Wattpad. I have to find it. It's in Portuguese though. But my first fan fiction was of the Zayn Malik one, and it did rounds on Tumblr at the time. Ow.
Oh shit. Oh, they've got a Sombra. Oh, I didn't realize Sombra wasn't banned.
And yeah, so Zayn Malik went off to X Factor, and he forgot about Viola. Hi, homie. Hello, Queenie. How was your day, darling? Did you suffer the? They always going through something. Yes, I was suicidal.
Huh?
I've always spoken this. Sorry, chat. Trigger warning. Yeah, I always had something going through. I was a little bit suicidal. I'm so sorry, Leo. I'm really sorry, darling. I'm not going to laugh about that because it's your struggle. I will laugh about mine though. But I'm sorry, my love. Oh my god, I thought you were the enemy team. Oh,
Oh, nice. Revive me, Kiriko.
But yeah, sometimes I had to apologize, being like, sorry, I just had a fight with my mom. Ow. And she made me feel miserable and fat. I love my mom to pieces now, but I didn't at the time. Dulce should write a fanfic with us. Do you know what I want to do one day? Because you and Tiny inspired me. Thank you for the follow, Daddy. I would like to do a redeem. I don't know about the idea of doing a subathon. I would love to do another donathon for Christmas. Or like, maybe not Christmas, but near Christmas. So, you know, it's hard because you already have your own responsibilities for Christmas. So maybe like in October. Like a Halloween donathon. That would be really cool.
I'm gonna ult
And-
behind them.
And one
Oh.
of them would be to write a fanfic with like, I don't know, the regulars, and obviously not make it weird. Halloweeny, 420.
Reforming you. Your enemy located.
Why are you running?
Somebody's behind.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I can hear it everywhere.
Watch out, Summers are on there.
But hey, I can write quite well, if I do say so myself. I think I can write quite well. He's on top.
They're a really bad samurai, I can't lie.
He's behind me. I need to lock in. That was a sexy wall, by the way.
Run.
Surrender to your mother.
Like, they use 3 ults. They only have Bob and Transcendent.
Do not rely on my generosity. It is fleeting.
This is not MVP, I'm gonna kill myself. Would it be Halloween themed? Yeah, of course! I want to do like... I want to do like either a Chapel Roan or K-pop Demon Hunter. Cause that's so ambitious. My uncle burned me at the Fame Monster CD, so I always listen to all that. As in the Lady Gaga The Fame Monster. Also, I'm so sorry if I'm like talking on top of you, Tintin. I know you have to keep up.
I'm not saying anything.
A sip for the parched. I see a hostile.
Wow. Where's the Sombra?
Up
Trying to
here.
kill myself.
Be nurtured. Much obliged. Enhancing your vitals.
She's gone down.
Don't move.
Why are they being toxic in all chat?
Thank you.
So rude of me. How are you, Dolce? I am losing the fucking plot. I'm scared if I go on AO3 and write something will happen to me. I keep hitting Google Doc. That is so fair, Leo. Leo, that is so fair. Dolce is Rumi. I can be Jean. No, I'm Zoe. I'm Zoe. You're Mira. What do you mean, Jean?
I made it for the tiger, but the bird keeps taking it.
You even look like him.
Who, me?
Yeah.
That's racist.
That's racially motivated.
What?
Cancelled.
Humanity is
You do look like
Hashtag
Jean.
50th
Dulce doesn't
apology
know.
video coming soon.
Hashtag Dulce doesn't know difference between Asians.
I do know the
Hashtag she
difference,
thinks
but
all
you
Asians
do
are the
look like Ginu. You have a lot of similarities.
Wow, she's saying all Asians look alike.
Oh my god, crazy.
Stop! Face cam right now. Face cam right now. Face cam right now, Tin. Drop your
I
fucking
am face
VTuber.
camming. I
Oh.
have been face camming this
Then
entire
there you
time.
go!
I don't
Then
look
there you
anything like
go!
Chinu.
What the fuck?
Dolce cancelled. Once again.
Once again, yeah.
Open out the nully.
Split your bangs in half, there you go. Oh, they've got a Hanzo too.
Are you in the wrong category, Tin?
nation is imminent.
I don't know, probably. I didn't change it. It's been a while.
Kondu,
Wait, hold
why?
on, I need to change my
Broke
category.
people should never laugh. Why are you laughing? You're a mod. You can
Ah.
change it. You actually should pay attention to those
Where
things.
was my May to protect me while I was changing my thingy?
I didn't know you were changing it.
I said I need to change my game. Bro wasn't even paying attention. Tinu, welcome home. No, his bangs are split on the side, but since I dried my hair down, well, I let my hair dry itself. It's flat.
What did they change? They changed to illusion.
Well, we lost the DPS because someone wasn't watching me.
Why are you changing during a cup game?
Gene, welcome home, cheater. Hey, my friend
Oh,
from the
whatever.
Caribbean can't tell white men apart. How do I say this without sounding like an absolute fucking prick?
Reforming you. Be nurtured.
Wait, apparently it's a cultural thing in our brains I used to perceive. Do you know what? I'm going to be so honest. I'm watching Singles Inferno. I'm going to be so dead honest. Because I'm not used to their types of names. It's a Korean dating
Ah,
show.
damn it.
Because I'm not used to their types of names, I genuinely struggle to memorize their names. And I try. I never skip the intro because they show their names. And like, I think that's just a form of respect. You're learning like the names of people. But it's just a type of names. I'm not used to it. So like, I can see that. But
Désolé.
this is not me being racially motivated. I genuinely think Tin looks like Genu. He has a lot of similarities. And I've been rude in saying that.
Je ne peux jouer. Je suis très mal. Ouais. Echo, set a timer for 2 minutes. Merci. Donc,
Please
4.
don't do any call outs in French, I beg you. This is a comp game.
Seldom won with ease.
J'ai... Oh,
No.
fuck. Putain.
I'm not even in the VC. So I
Je
don't
peux
know.
pas. Je peux pas. M'aider, s'il vous plaît.
How did it turn this around?
We're not focusing.
Oh, sorry. I'll stop talking about Genu from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Thank
So
you.
instead, I'll talk about Polytrix. You know, Huntrix, Polytrix.
Que?
Do you not
Quoi?
know the fanfic trope? Like.
Non, je sais pas.
Okay, je ne parle pas français, okay?
Je suis désolé, mais Kat, c'est le faute de Kat.
So it's the
Wesh.
trope that Huntrix are in a poly relationship?
Les femmes.
For fuck's sake, je ne parle pas français. I said a psychology, and that's just how our brains process things we're not used to. It's definitely not true, though. Not true through. As in, like, not...
Morphy, salut.
Oh my god. How the fuck did we let this go so easily?
Tant que merde.
Did they swap healers or what? Or did we swap healers?
Lucio, what?
Be nurtured.
Bitch!
Ouais. Oh! It's been 2 minutes. I'm free! Je suis libéré. Oh, fuck. Anyways. Echo, stop. To be fair, I was too focused to even speak anyways. So, it wasn't really great. 2 minutes felt very short, I can't lie.
That's okay, at least we've been able to put them like on an evil foot with us.
Putain! I have my alt if
How
we
much of my
can
Lego I've done
still-
yesterday? I'm excited. You should record it.
Evolution is a painful path to walk.
We have less time than we do. That's exciting.
Surrender to your
I got there Zen.
Ah, she fucking hacked me, man.
Border.
The healers did wake up, let me tell you. I wanted to save some for today. You did say that. You did You did say that. You are so cute, Queen. I'm very excited. That is such a cute. That is such a stunning Lego set. I'm very jealous and happy for you. Oh, my back needs to be cracked, man. Oh. It hurts. From carrying this entire healing. Look at that. The fuck? The fuck?
I hold the
If I recorded it, you'd hear me singing. That's such a shame.
The world evolves, and so must we with it.
An Enderman Lego set that exists?
Hello.
Oh, I was confusing Enderman with Slenderman.
Are you feeling any better? Meh. Slightly.
Also, I promise I don't always talk about K-pop. It's just been brought up more recently. You can always talk about K-pop. Hey, always do. That's your interest. Stand your ground, sister. Oh, hold up. This is like me calling Queen homie.
For themselves.
Stand your ground, wifey.
Lending you
Oh my god.
There's a test subject. Over there.
Fuck. Lucio is dead.
Queen, queen, queen.
I died.
So,
I see a hostile.
I have an orb. I have an orb.
A sip for the parched.
Got homie zoned.
Oh my god.
Enemy located.
behind, behind.
I know. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I offer something more. Atrophy. Surrender to your mother.
Sorry, that was a really bad ult for me. I kind of panicked. Homie zone, no. No, never. I got homie zone is crazy. Queen, homie zone is crazy.
Victory goes ever from
That is really funny. Homie zone is crazy though.
The Kiriko could have waited. I don't know what they were doing.
That summer's ruining the entire fucking thing, man. I am fucking healing you, man.
Fucking
shimmy,
hell.
shimmy,
Oh
shimmy,
my god,
shimmy.
I'm gonna fucking sombra this now because I'm done.
That's okay. Don't stress. Wait, what's happening? At least it was in the sibling zone. Well, I am a Caleb main in Love in Deep Space.
bothersome.
And if you were paying attention back when we were Silveriety,
Like,
Caleb had a sibling dynamic with the main character. They're not blood related though. Come on, get some out of my ass.
You will be renewed. Over there.
send one. Nice. Queen low.
Nice.
It's not real siblings, it's Chinese honorifics. Guga.
Yeah.
Guga.
Did you see the drama? Did you see the drama,
What drama?
Cat? Oh my god. People start. There was. I don't know the entire thing, but there was this group in a Chinese social media platform, I believe. That was like a community that supported the Gigi and Mei Mei dynamic. It's a famous trope in I believe it's a famous trope in China. And it's just like you don't actually believe they're blood siblings or like related. It's just like a blurred line kind of situation. It's like dark romance, you know? And there was a community, like a Facebook group. It wasn't Facebook, but it was something like that. And people started calling that group out, and I think there were actually like disgusting threats being made to the members of that group. People started leaving, but you know, people are getting hated and just being. It was just the whole thing.
Science holds the key to
I don't know the ins and outs. It was kind of like that, like Opa and Nuna drama all over again. I don't know what that is. Girl, I've been off the internet. I am too busy. That is so slay of you. We remain offline. What is Nuna and Opa?
Duna and Oppa. So Oppa is like Big Brother. or like just a general older male. Nuna is a general older female. There's honorifics. It doesn't. You literally call friends or others by that. Sibal.
Don't stress. Don't
So
stress. Don't
no.
stress.
So from a woman's perspective or a female presenting person, an older woman is a knee, and an older man is oppa. And then from a male perspective, an older woman is
Receive my aid.
Nuna, and an older man is Hyung.
Okay.
Cannot escape me.
So it's kind of like that, I think.
Oh,
Pretty sure it's kind of like that.
in Philippines, we literally just call everyone kuya or ate. Whoever's older.
A taste of poison.
Fuck, I'm asleep.
Need to leave the objective. Let's get this fucking bastion.
I can't keep it trying.
I got stuck on the wall.
Anagon.
I need healing, please.
Oh my god, I need some healing.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. That is my
It's fine,
fault.
we got 2/3. They removed
Can we
support
allow
Sombra. I'm
that?
really upset by that.
Mods, can we allow that, please?
30 seconds remaining.
A sip for the parched. I require healing. I'm sorry. I am ready to unleash coalescence.
Wow, that's nice.
Ruination is imminent. Surrender to your mother.
Just waiting for that.
I have my ult.
In Australia, we say can't. Did it not show? I can't allow it for some reason. GG's.
Evolution is a painful path.
That was a bit of a sad game. Jesus, 16,000. Their healers did wake up. They were like triggered by what the tank had to say, and they were just like, bad. That is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? Twitch is race. I don't know how to allow it. Is it because of tins? Let me go and allow it. I'm a mod on tins, not to brag. Sorry, Tin, I'm going to... You look so
What's happening?
cute! Queen's message got blocked.
Oh? I have no restrictions on my channel. So,
Not even cunt? So was it me? Dulce de Milkies. Was it me, Jesus? Were you silenced or were you silenced? Yeah, I can't do anything. Sorry. You can try again. I was homemade. Wow. I'm getting a bit hot since you were homemade. Getting a bit hot now. Hold up. Were you homemade now? Are you okay? Love you. I don't think you will ever let go of this, though. I don't think you will ever let go of this. And it's a bit sad. I feel a bit sad over that. It was weird when K-pop started getting more popular in North America, though, because even if the guy was younger, girls would be like, "Be my oppa," and it was like, so oppa is like, it's you use that for seniors, right? For your senior.
yes.
Ooh, tell us what package you've got. Oh my god, it's already my bedtime. Wait, what? I'm confused. When was this? Rue? When was this? I'm confused.
How do you fucking wall climb?
What do you mean? I was kicked out of the custom.
Can you not rejoin it?
I don't know. I don't like customs. Can I replace the word with Kona? Yes, you can. That will not flag. At least it shouldn't.
Coño.
Coño.
Who the fuck
Coño.
is choosing fucking Antarctic Peninsula?
Alright, tá
whatever
bem, não
shit?
sei o que te diga. Pronto, já escolhi Nepal, foda-se. Queres o Atlas ou queres o... I love you. Ah!
Select your hero.
Oh my god, can I please be anything but DPS?
Same.
At this point, I'd rather play Ramatra.
I want a pocket mercy.
Select heroes to ban.
Ay, ay, ay. I didn't even see my predicted. I don't know who to choose. Okay. I was gonna say Doom.
Zaddy Ram. Yes.
Chose the wrong one.
One sec.
Arriving at Antarctic Peninsula.
A pin of shame, that's insane. That's
Be my
insane.
pocket mercy.
I haven't warmed up for Mercy though. I haven't warmed up.
Oh well, more about
Ram, the way I would ride that robot, like no questions asked.
No one's a natural.
The
All
way,
have to put in the work.
no questions asked. He's a robot. It's like Caleb's arm from Love in Deep Space, because he has a metallic arm. Like his metallic arm having a vibrating feature. Sign me the fuck up.
1. Round 1. Capture.
Wow, Dante, you have a talent for joining at the right time. Can I just say that? Can I just say that? Game Dante, I was predicted bronze 2 or 3. No questions, please. Don't ask me difficult questions.
Oh shit.
Bobby. Olha! If I'm gonna blue stick it out of...
The objective is now active.
I was trying to help Pin.
Ich sollte schnell zurück. Boosting your damage. Defend the objective. I'm here to support.
Chat. Dulce's a bot confirmed. I finally managed to clip that thing from earlier.
Wait, what? Dolce's a bot confirmed. What?
Yes. You failed the Are You Human test.
Fuck off, man. So, no one can judge me for wanting to fuck Ram. He's a bot. I'm a bot.
Thanks.
If you get in a closed room and you die again, and then my fire dies again, and then I die, we're gonna have a problem.
Healing stream connected.
You hear me, kids? Ay, ay, ay. Shimmy her. Come on, shimmy her.
Monstering you. Fix you up.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh.
Chill.
Behind you. Stronger.
Okay, I'm not with you. I'm not with you. When I'm with you. When I'm not with you. When I'm with you.
Triple kill.
Let me tend to that.
Good job, darling.
Over there.
I'm gonna die.
I
Run!
died.
so we both agree he's daddy, so we don't worry about the
Are
rest.
you kidding
Exactly.
me? I love you. I'm sorry, I'm being a little bit harsh. I'm so sorry. You would never be like this to me. But that's okay because you're not Portuguese. I just have a
What's
way
happening?
of being. You died and I immediately started screaming at you. That's what's up.
Oh, it's fine. My mum's the same.
I am your mother. What do you mean?
Me, you are literally embodying my mother.
I don't want that.
Ah. Who left?
Oh,
The other team.
the Hanzo.
Earth, wind, and fire.
Feeling more powerful?
Yeah,
Oh.
I can. I'm sorry. I can. I will fix it. Don't worry. Thank you.
Surely you don't need me in there.
Yeah, it's a little bit bad. Hold up. Let me...
Score 1-0.
Oh man, that didn't fucking fix it.
Scientists, but that's no reason to be careless.
When I was in the main area, it was just showing with the black stripes at the bottom and the top. And I thought it was going to be like that for the game, so I fucked it up.
3, 2,
Thank you, Karo.
round 2. Capture.
Cat, what on earth? What on earth?
Yeah, it might vibrate. That's the point. Farah, 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 Farah.
Oh. Yes. Remember? I pinged he was coming that way.
Paying attention.
Where'd he go?
I died. Ah! 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 Ah!
What is he doing? Is he just coming for you? Oh, the tank left.
I can fix that. Enemy over here. Here it comes. Damage intensified.
Crime doesn't pay.
Oh my god, we're gonna win.
I don't
Oh
like
my
it like
god,
this.
we're gonna win.
Please. Thank
Oh
you.
my god, we won. Let's go. Silver 3.
My MMR is so fucked. Are you winning, son? This one was really hard. We lost the first one. This one was like sweet spot when we won. This one I don't know. The second one I don't know how we won. The last one was a bit of a shame.
A map.
Like an extreme shame actually because we actually had it. And then they just swapped Peru, so oh, dangerous. I'm getting sleepy. That's dangerous. Let me put on some music. I mean, you guys can hear the music, but I can't. What have you been up to, Dante? Is Maisie still at the festival? Or stream deck?
Select your hero.
Portugal, caralho.
Oh, fuck. Congrats on the pin, Wayne. That. Guys, I'm getting tired.
To ban.
Why?
Not allowed.
Actually, I woke up at. That's why I didn't go to the gym this morning. It's because I woke up really. I woke up at 8, and I had coffee date with my good old pal Paul at 9:30. I was late, but that's besides the point. So I didn't end up going, and then oh shit, I didn't ban. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I ended up spending the entire fucking day just cutting my acrylics, and I ended up with this shit.
Prepare for battle.
I ended up with this shit.
Select
Saki, my love, how are you doing? Welcome in, darling. How are you? How are you feeling? You feeling good? See, it's so lovely to have you here, darling. I hope you're having a blessed weekend. Have you been up to anything exciting? It's Saki. Woo! That you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you to know, baby. Tell me that you're coming through.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Everyone ready?
You're good. I'm so glad. How are the preparations going, darling? On a 24 work hour shift? What do you do if you can't say it? Jesus, 24 hour. Do you work at like a hospital? I'm okay. I'm a little bit tired, but it's new season. It's new woman. I'm a new woman. I don't rage. I don't
If it must be
scream.
done, let
I
it
don't
be done
shout.
quickly.
Oh, Becca. Live on Twitch.
Oh. Will support after. Remind me.
Becca is the life weaver.
Kindness.
It's always the life weavers. They're
Ooh,
always so
need
nice.
some healing.
I don't know where you are.
Next to you.
I had already healed you, my guy.
Is imminent.
Oh,
Ow.
Let the push commence.
I can't get to you.
I'm good.
Reforming.
Oh, I'll reach out in just a second. Sorry for the ads.
I offer something more.
Oh, the Lucio has the
An
skin.
inevitable occurrence.
There's so many Lucios in this
I'm
lobby.
7 HP.
Okay. Hide. Breathe. Mama Milkies will get to you, okay? Get in the queue. I believe I'll die.
cat, what is that?
Your end is within my reach.
What's happening? Is that Juno? Bitch. Get out of here. Bitch, who the fuck do you think you are?
Is in my grasp. We nurture.
Why is Almora flat?
Eyes open now.
Excuse me? Did I get a Kiriko or did I not get the Kiriko? That's what's up.
Big stanger
Tank, tank. Oh, we're falling back.
You're so forward, that's why.
I'm out of heals.
That's alright.
minor
Thanks.
perk unlocked.
I'm going back a bit.
Shit. Is Juno flu? Wait, what? Okay, that was Chris. I'll be with you.
Juno
Chad, in
flying
just
out
a
of
second.
orbit.
They will learn pain.
Me looking at all I have to do. What do you need to do, Kat? You have TikToks to be. Oh, our anthem is playing. Like a starry night, you light up a sky.
Astarion?
We're leading closer, and my heart starts to pound. I heard you sigh, you know I love that sound. He's bouncing off my booty cheeks. I love the way he rides. I can hardly breathe when he's pumping deep
What the
inside.
fuck, man?
Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna look for a health pack.
What the fuck?
Don't mind me.
It's happening now.
You left me, but love that song. Heck yeah. Oh, I don't have enough health to be standing over there, so I'm gonna just like
Are you going
chill
to do
over
that
here.
tonight, Cad?
I offer
Or is
something
that like...
more.
Have you bought the VTuber?
Oh shit!
Bearing your cellular
You should do it on stream. You should set it up on stream. For real.
No, but Cat's trying to debut.
Oh.
Lexi, yeah, we do what we do.
Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, damn right.
We
It's
still have to
better
play games
than
until I'm done with the
yours, damn right.
tasks.
It's better than yours. I can take two, but I have to
Time
charge my.
again to
Oh,
try again.
oop!
I'm gonna pop out.
Go time.
I wasted my ult.
Switch it behind.
Ends now.
So there.
Oh, she's dead.
Taste of
We're
poison.
Yeah,
so
come on.
split.
Yeah, we need to get out. We need to get out.
I mean, as long as we like,
No, I couldn't get to any of you.
Wait, wait.
Good wall.
That's
Give
fine.
it a second until we get a tank. Okay, Diva's here.
can hardly breathe. You in pumping deep inside. I kiss him on his neck and then he kisses on my pussy car. Oh my god, I remember the first time I played this song in my sister's car. She was like, "Ew!" And I was like, "What?"
I love
She
you.
goes, "Do you even know what pussy means?" And I was like, "Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that."
Look at Tiny bringing sexy back. My love, hi.
Today, what's up,
Just in the middle of a
Suffrage?
stressful day.
The queen. Mi reina. Yeah, she was like, "What? Don't you ever play that song on my radio ever again?" And I was like, "Ah." Oops.
Fuck! You are so sexy. Thank you so much, my love. What are you up to? What have you been up to?
Progress is seldom one with
Wait,
feelings.
what's up with? You were only supposed to work a 13-hour shift. But 20. How do you do that, darling?
What the hell?
Receive my aid.
24 is insane, darling.
Eyes
But
open
hey,
wide.
get your bread.
The only 24 I want is 24
Got
karat
this.
gold.
No, she's got cancelled. She got cancelled. Remember?
There's a test
This
of
Huh?
ends now.
She got cancelled.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about like just gold in general. Make me rich.
surrender to your mother.
Brother!
I've got you in my sights.
Oh my god, how are they getting?
Enemy forward spawn room activated.
Now, to start
I
anew.
have no survivability.
Oh, so you're working at home care, darling. Okay. Have you got?
That's so jealous if you survive it, honestly.
Did you just speak French?
No mother's kindness.
Oh my god!
You
Just behind you, just next to you. Thank you.
receive my aid.
Oh my god. You're not taking the lead.
Oh my god!
Activating self-destruct sequence.
That took you long enough.
Can you feel this? Careful, we're outnumbered. Kneel of wings.
Are you kidding me? Are you?
We can't let them take the lead.
Kiriko has ult.
Your team has lost the lead.
Are you working at the escape room or are you going to an escape room? Actually got the lead. That's insane.
You need only ask for my
How?
pain is inevitable.
Well, gotta give it to them.
No mother's kindness. Repairing your cellular makeup. I must recharge.
I don't have heals.
Hold on.
Oh my god.
Your end is within my reach.
That soldier's asking to die, man.
Fuck, man. Your second job is an escape. But that is so fucking cool.
Oh my
I've never
god.
been to an escape room.
Enemy forward spawn room
Help
deactivated.
me. Need a moment to recharge. The weak can fend
Got
for
you in my
themselves.
sights.
Languish and despair. Unassailable, bro.
The tank was doing good as Orisa. Why did they switch?
I don't know.
Evolution is a painful path.
My first job is Chia's husband. Oi! Get your hands off my
Oh
wife.
my god! Oh my god!
Enemy 60 seconds.
You heard me?
Receive my aid.
You heard me. Get your hands off me wife.
A taste of poison. Surrender to your mother. I'm under attack.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
This is hard, man. I'm just the
Possession of the robot.
No, that's insane.
Big Skylar.
Please, no.
Take care of them. No mother's kindness.
Never back down, never what? You heard me. Don't leave the fucking robot.
Time. Target down.
Did you? Be nurtured.
Saying I
Get out of there,
can't
get out of
let
there.
you.
Cybernetic innovation at its finest.
Come back to point.
I require assistance.
Never back down. Never what?
The weak can fend for themselves. Well done, Yakua.
Oh, sexy. Someone behind?
Be cautious.
It's fine, keep going, keep going.
Enemy located. Receive my aid.
Oh, shit, I... No, no, don't charge, don't fucking charge, don't fucking charge, don't fucking charge.
I offer something more.
I've got you in my sights.
I'm dead, I'm so dead. I'm like Stanley randomly appearing in
Get back to basics.
GG's. Becca TW.
Play of the game.
Oh, her VTube is so cute. Her VTube is very cute. I'm going to drop a follow. Cheese. I was the more in the enemy team. Nice games. Her VTube is so cute. That was a hard game, man. No, they did pull it through. Pulled it through so well. Oh! What did I miss in chat? What did I miss in chat? Chat. You know what else is hard? Maths. I really struggle with maths in college. Thank you for the lurk, Tiny. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I couldn't give a lot of attention. I really appreciate the reset, my love. Yeah, I really struggled a lot with maths. I really thought that was going to put me... that was going to like... Don't remind me about math. Too late. I'm going to remind you about math. So I study advanced maths in college because I'm stupid and I never realized that I should pursue arts, and that by not pursuing arts I would really struggle in uni. Because I studied economics at college and then I had a 180 on like year 11. I had already been accepted into a criminology placement in Cambridge, and not the Cambridge, the Anglia Ruskin University. And then I was just like, no, I'm going to study makeup. And then boom, I ended up in the south of England and I studied makeup. But I was studying economics in college, so I was studying advanced maths, and that shit fucked me up so bad that I genuinely thought that I was going to fail my my exams, but I ended up passing, and I actually ended up being one of the few people with really good notes, which was kind of it's not a brag because I had an 11 out of 20, but I still was on like top 5 with the best grades on that exam. So then I ended up in the UK. Sorry. So maths are really hard, and I just ruined Queen's joke. Sorry about that, guys. Tin, you're playing tank. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I've had enough of DPS.
I can't blame you. Why just why not support? Just support.
Oh, because the queue's faster if I tank.
Okay. Not
See?
stupid, just misguided, and that's okay. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Holly. I did think, to be honest, I went through that because I definitely thought I wanted to study criminology, and I didn't want to study so in Portugal, if you don't go through a technical course, I don't know what in the what would be like the equivalent to like course technique here. It's like if you don't go through GCSEs.
For your information, I've only done up to year 7 in Portugal.
So in the UK, you'll go through, you do GCSEs, and that's just like, I think, the highest perform. I don't know, like academia, right? That's like academia, right? GCSEs. I don't know. C's get degrees, babes.
GCSEs is like up to year 10.
I don't know.
And then you have your, and then after year 10, you need to pick between college and A levels.
Oh yeah, so A levels, that's what I studied. But then you have like technical courses. Shit, Zarya. I don't know, Cassidy. So in my A levels, yeah, so I went through the route of A levels or whatever, but in Portugal, it's difficult to explain. I'm Canadian, I have no idea what that is. Okay, so when you get to year 10,
Year 10 Portugal or year 10 England?
Walla!
What age are you in year 10 Portugal?
It's year 11 in Portugal. In here.
That's
16, 17.
16, 17.
I'm just confused, guys, really.
So whatever you guys are doing when you're 17, 16, 17, that's the conversion.
What the fuck is happening?
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Jiggling my balls. So, if you go through like the A levels route, which is like what you would do if you wanted to pursue uni, in Portugal you have linguistics. You can choose linguistics, you can choose economics, you can choose science, and arts. They're their own specific names. And I wanted to study criminology, but I didn't want to study linguistics, despite the fact that I'm way better at I wanted to pursue something that was difficult. Because I enjoyed maths, I was just terrible at it. Let's fucking pop off, Tin. So I wanted to do something that I enjoyed, even despite the fact that I knew I was going to struggle. And because I thought that would open me up more doors to study criminology, which it did, because I got a placement at Anglia Ruskin in year 11. Slay.
Get back, Tim.
Right, he's almost dead.
I wasn't even done, and I had already a placement, so that's a slay. But then I was just
He's
like,
been
no,
spawned.
no, I'm going to study makeup. And I did. And funny enough, you will find now that I work for a bank. Which is extremely ironic. I can't hear everyone!
I offer something more. Repairing your cellular makeup.
Yeah. I chose linguistics and you did, my love. You're so smart. You know so much about history. I could only dream.
Can fend for themselves. I cannot heal you yet. Eyes open now. Receive my aid. The payload is in our care. Enemy located.
Blossom.
Dead.
He would not dare Blossom right now.
Hey, I studied psychology and social work and was sold this whole idea of what it would be just to find out it has no stability or support if you don't get into hospital work, so I get you. And I send you a lot of love, my love. But... Oh. You study something so interesting. So I also studied psychology, I mean, not obviously not like a degree level, but I had, in year 12, it's kind of like an A level, but it's not. I don't know anymore. But you study like a specific, and I chose psychology. Did I cheat? Yeah, mostly because I was just smoking weed and not going to lessons because
Blossom.
I was also working. But I thought it was really interesting, and I loved it. I was just no. I think you studied a very interesting topic. Subject. Oh my god, why am I getting my pussy cracked, man? Blossom. Crazy. Did he get pulled?
Leave on me. Oh my god. Watch out for the res. Watch out for the res.
No, she's bottom bursting. Where is she?
Dead.
Dolce, can I say a joke? Yes, lovely. Sorry. Why am I getting my pussy cracked? What's the joke, darling? Ah! Get her, Jade.
Bastion on wheels. Inside the house. Behind you. I'm almost back.
Get back in jail. Why game sweaty? Why game sweaty? Chat, why game?
Kieran OTP.
I'm so
There's this
skinny.
bish. Blossom?
Blossom.
No.
Wait. Poetry, thank you, Saki. Everything
Dead.
I write, it's like Taylor Swift. Everything I write, unfortunately, does not
Reloaded.
turn into a $1 billion song. Not that I want $1 billion, but
I want $1 billion, please, and thank you.
no, you don't want to be a billionaire. Unless you want to be extremely unethical. I would like $1 million in my pocket. It would so turn into a $1 billion song. As Elmo. Mom, bean ice cream, thinking of your blue jeans. $1 billion, man. Ah! I was distracted. I just want a cool 500k. What would you guys do if you won the lottery? What would you guys do? Chat con de intent.
To start anew.
Sorry, one sec.
Sun, with you next to me, there's no. Oh my
I
gosh,
say,
do you
sorry. What
do
you
you
saying?
remember the clip of Elmo going around like a plastic water bottle in a paper? No. Do you have the link? Pay my parents up. That is extremely nice. That is very nice. Buy a house. That is good investment. What would you guys do? You were going to say something.
I too would buy a house.
Same. It's probably the same house.
Yeah, probably the same. Probably.
Queen. So I joined a nudist colony. First few days were the hardest.
Oh shit. Yeah, I laughed at
Hope I
that.
have to Lego.
I'd buy a house. Can a mod permit Holly, please? If not, you can DM me and then I'll post in chat.
Place in my neck of the woods.
Love me for- Don't apologize, it's fine. I keep forgetting about that.
Finger on Bob and I'll
I
show
know
you
there's the
what's
set.
going
I
on.
swear I have the setting. I don't know. Well of moi. Mwah. Vacation from you to me. Later on in my destiny, see myself having a child.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love and deep space, man. But that's that. Are they salty?
I don't know.
Aching! Aching! Alright.
I apologize.
Saúde, caralho!
A taste of poison.
Thank you for assisting.
If I won the lottery, how much is the lottery usually?
See a hostile. You cannot escape me.
Tin, I need you to be back. How much is the lottery usually?
No idea.
Figures? Okay, so if I
Where
won the
is-
lottery, I would put 20% in of it. I mean 20% of 20? Probably more than that. Half of it has to go in taxes. 40% has to go to taxes, so fuck that. Okay, so let's say that after taxes, I would put 20% into savings. Another 20% into investments. And I would buy a maybe 2-bedroom flat in a pretty city. But like maximum like 200k. I don't need a fancy house. I don't need I want a flat. I don't need a fancy flat. I need maybe 2 bedrooms so I can have my own office with like my bookcase and whatnot, and then my bedroom. That's about that. That's all I need, really. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just like livable and pretty. Pretty, I can make it pretty. But yeah, I would focus on savings and investments. And then I would probably, with the savings and the investments, I would, a few years later, buy another property, become a landlord for my 2-bedroom property, a good landlady, I promise. And yeah, passive income. Love you. And that's on Sly. That's on Slout. Passive income is Slout.
Blossom.
Tin, I need you to back up. We're split.
Receive my aid.
Oh, and then I would use whatever I had left to maybe like go take a master's. Oh shit, wrong orb. Maybe go take a master's, like quit my job And because I'll have passive income,
Oh my god, I'm reloading.
I'll be able to
I'm
live off
coming
of
back.
that. So I would go back to uni and I would study the masters that I want to study. And then I would probably take a vacation across Australia and Japan.
Are you gonna try to find yourself an Australian woman?
A cure for all the tales.
Junker
Maybe
Queen.
both. I know I am monogamous, but maybe I could have like
Did
some.
you just block me off
Maybe I could
after I
have
was trying to help you?
Maybe I could have a spring love in Japan under the what are the pretty trees
Sakura?
called? Yeah, under the sakura trees. Ah, yeah. And then I could have a summer love in Australia. Oh no, because would that be summer or winter? I am confused now. Wherever summer and winter is in. I
They're
don't
right
know.
next to each other. Oh, wait,
I
no.
never heard that's a nice place. Wait, what?
They're right next to each other, Tin said.
No, no, then I remembered that it's the South Pole in Australia.
No, that's impossible, right?
Huh?
It's impossible because they're not
What?
in the same hemisphere.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that's why I was confused. I was like, but they're next to each other. What do you... And then...
I'm stealing your plan.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's do it together. Let's do it together, Saki. I think there are ads coming up. Summer and winter
tell
are
them I
flipped
work
from north.
tomorrow.
Yeah, they would not be the same. So I don't know how I would work that out.
I mean, you can have your spring love in Japan, then after when it's winter up here, it's summer there. So it's two ends of the year.
No. That's... No.
Okay.
When it's spring here, it's autumn there.
Yes, but you said you wanted your summer love. So when it's winter here, it's summer in
And then
Australia.
how would I catch spring in Japan if I'm going to like I want to do Japan Australia like boom boom.
Oh, at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh.
First I'm
I
the
thought you were trying
summer
to have,
love.
like...
You got me kicking my feet, homie. Homie. Yeah, gotta act cool. Gotta act cool, you know what I'm saying?
30 seconds remaining.
You gotta act cool.
Receive my aid.
I like this reverse orb.
Surrender to your mother.
Oh, what you got? A cutie! I still don't know what the secret orb is. Hello, Luki. Too. How are you? How was the gym? GG's. Let's walla walla for life.
Play of the game.
What? What? I got a fucking 4 kill. What is this?
That's actually insane.
Hunting them down.
What did it say?
That was 3. I had 4
20
/ 5.
I don't know how that works, darling. I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
Was it with your ult?
No.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, darling.
Guess how much percentage I got from this game?
I'm scared to ask.
Just guess.
2.
Wait.
22,000 steps. That's insane, Luke. Where the fuck did you go? Tomorrow is leg day. I wouldn't do it. I would do hypermobility day tomorrow if I were you, but you do you boo. I would do hypermobility. How are you feeling though? Trying to beat last month's step goals, so been walking a bit too much. How do you gain the courage to just go out on a walk? Thank you for the lurk. Enjoy eating my pussy.
5, 4,
Excuse me.
Wow.
1. Fight.
I said what I said. Purr. Purr, Damn right. It's better. Damn right. It's better than us. I can teach you. But anyways, I
Taken the
tomorrow's
lead.
potato myself and relax day. Ooh, are you gonna do it like a bit of a skincare kind of moment? It's the only one
I
I'm
left the group
improving
by
on, so it's
accident.
so good. Fuck. Okay, how much did you get?
36%.
That's really good. I thought because it was white
I
matching, you're
am
the
now
highest.
flat 3. Yeah, and I still didn't get to the fullest because I got
That's
calibration.
insane, man. And I'm still predicted silver 3. That's actually stupid. I'm very proud of you, Lukitu. I wanted to walk across the harbor bridge today, but there was a marathon on. Yeah, I should have joined. You should have been like Mr. Bean and you should have joined. What the fuck? Oh, you'd go Japan first in the spring and then go Australia for Japan's summer because it would be winter, I think. Huh? I'll sing Summer Love by One Direction. Now you do that. You do that. No, Mr. Bean. You know exactly what I'm... Exactly. He joined marathons. Guys, I'm starting to get tired. I'm 4 games away from placements. And I'm tired. So how do we do this?
Weak link.
Wow.
It's time to go to bed.
I'm
There you
27
are.
years old. I have no wife, no prospects. My family thinks I'm a burden. I am a burden for my family. And I am lonely. You sing Summer Love at karaoke. We need to go karaoke. I might do a face mask tomorrow and body scrub. That is hot. Can I join? Maidenless in the mid 20s. Wow, thanks, Holly. Yes, that is me.
Not the Elden Ring reference.
And you know what makes it worse? I gave up Elden Ring after 3 hours and a half. Can I take a break, Chad? And guys, please.
You go, Queen.
Yeah.
I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. You can do what you want, boss. Thank you about that. My own wife ignored me being hot and an overachiever. Like 30. What did I do? What did I do? Please. What did I do? Please. Please. What did I do? What did I do, please? What? Oh my god, my makeup is smudging. We ignore that. What did I do, please? What did I do? No, I saw it. You studied. Was that what I said? What did you say? What did you say? I'm gonna go take a break. You reminisce. Can you guys entertain them, please? I'll be right back.
um, Here is my cover of how it's done, a cappella. We're ADHD children. We need entertainment. Oh my god! Wait, you have the emotes. It's crazy. Um, are we ready to have a lovely sing along chat? You came at a bad time, but you just crossed the line. You wanna get wild? Okay, I'll show you wild. Better come right, better luck try and get into a level. Cause you might die, never the time, trying to start a battle. Bleeding isn't in my blood, you suck but the less beating you is what I do, yeah. Body, I'm not even sorry. And when you pull up, I pull up a little late to the party. Nah. I told her that I was born for this. There ain't no point in avoiding it. Annoyed, beep, but a picture, tapi kau ni afkir petya. Knocking you out like a lullaby. Hear that sound ringing in your mind. Better sit down for the show, cause I'm gonna show you how it's done. Boom, 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 boom. hunt tricks, don't miss how it's done. Dun dun boom 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 boom. Hunt tricks, don't quit. How it's done, done, done. Run when we run the town. Oh, we're playing our sound. Turn it up, it's going down. Hunt trick, show this how it's done, 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 dun, 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 boom, 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 boom. Yeah, something about when you come for the crown that's so humbling, ha. 갑자기 왜 그래 먼지들이 왜 이게 해퍽이야 what nothing to us run up you done up sun up to sun up so come out to play one either way we want in a million we kill like really you want it okay heels nails blade mascara fit check for my name bomb error need to beat my face make it cute and savage mirror mirror on my phone who's the baddest us hello knocking you out like a lullaby hear that sound ringing in your mind. Better sit down for the show, cause I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna show you. I was done, done, done. I don't talk, but I bite full of venom. Spitting facts, you know that's how it's done, done, done. Okay, like I know I ramble, but when you do my words, I go Rambo. Two platters with tizzle and natural. That's how it's done, done, done. Hear our voice unwavering. Till our song defeats the night, making fear afraid to breathe. Till the dark beats the light. We run the town, playing our sound. Turn up, it's going down. Hot trick show, this how it's done, done, done. We hunt you down, down, down. We got you now, now, now. We show you how. Hot tricks don't miss how it's done, done, done. So, shall we just go through the K-pop Demon Hunters playlist? Twerky duck, twerky duck. 감사합니다, 여러분. 여러분, 감사합니다. 감사. All that while sick? Dang. 아리가토 고자이마스. 여, 미나산. 아리가토. 아리가토 고자이마스. Okay. A cappella. Golden. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum, bum, 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 ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, 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 boom. I was a ghost, I was alone. Ha, 도진. Ha, ab기설계. Ha, given the throne, I didn't know how to believe. I was the king that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives. Try to put. Actually, I can play this on the guitar. One second. Ow. Tin and his guitar have been whipped out. Whoopee. Whoopee. I was a ghost. I was alone. Ouch. Tawachin. Ha. Sorry. Ha ha. I think it's here. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Can you hear this? In Dulce's chat as well. I don't know if it's catching the guitar. Pardon. Ay, bye. Wait. Oh, there you go. Yep. Nicer. I was a ghost. I was alone. Ha. Do it in. Ha. Kiss again. Ah. Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe. I was the queen that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives, try to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. Got a problem, child, cause it got too wild. But now that's how I'm getting paid with MC on stage. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We dream in heart, we came so far now, I believe. We're going up, up, up. It's our moment. You know, together we're glowing. Gonna be golden. Oh, oh, up, up, up with our voices. And when you get you so something, gonna be golden. Oh, I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining like I'm born to be. Oh, our time, no fears, no lies. That's who we're born to be. Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the boy they all see. No more hiding, I'll be shining like I'm born to be. 'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe
Face.
we're going up,
Pull
up,
up.
up. It's our moment. You know, together we're glowing. Hello.
Sorry, I interrupted.
That's right.
Go on.
Huh?
Keep on.
Oh, you. Okay. I know I believe we're going up, up, up. It's our moment. You know, together we're glowing. Gonna be golden. Oh, oh, up, up, up with our voices. You only get you something. Gonna be golden.
Hi,
Oh,
Chia.
I'm done
Hello,
hiding.
gorgeous.
Now I'm shining like I'm
Yeah.
born to be.
Foda-se, caralho!
Oh, what happened? There's
I
no
burned myself
light.
on my mug.
Are you having tea? You know we're
Yeah. What did I
be
miss?
golden. Ooh, nothing. We're just jamming out.
Keep on, sorry.
And I know that it's our time. No fears, no lies. That's who we're
Hello,
born to
Mudzy. How are
be.
you, Chia? Love the thirst traps. Glad you posted them. I need to adjust my makeup pull up, guys. Are you actually playing the guitar?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm playing the guitar.
You
I
do so
genuinely
well.
forgot because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be singing in a cappella because I can't do karaoke in Dulce's stream. Then I remembered I own like several instruments. So yeah, that's what I was doing.
Thanks for entertaining, chat.
감사합니다,
I went to have
여러분,
a
여러분.
I went to have a fucking panic attack. Not a panic attack, sorry. A breakdown. Breakdown? Breakdown. Breakdown.
I don't think I'm ready for this breakdown.
Thanks. Appreciate the support.
You're
Glad you
welcome.
liked them. You're technically in the reflection of my. That is crazy. I am obsessed. How was your day, darling? Also, it's 11 p.m. for you.
It's almost 11 p.m. for us as well.
No, it's quarter past. It's quarter past 10.
Oh, it's only quarter past. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't fucking read the time anymore. I think I'm number dyslexic.
You can get that looked at.
Eh.
Right.
La 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 la.
Makeup's done. I mean, I'm streaming for another hour and that's about that. Guys, I'm exhausted. Don't know why I
Why are you
remade my makeup,
exhausted?
but we move.
You should do some jumping jacks to wake up.
Do you hate me?
Dyscalcul. No, I'm
I'm
giving
not
you
going.
advice.
I'm not going to do. I can't
Dyscalculia.
even do a fucking push up. I'm too
I wasn't
weak.
saying to do push up.
What will you
Me
need to watch,
suggesting for you to
darling?
do push ups would be hating on you.
How'd you do them so fucking easily? I've never been able to
Honey.
do push ups like that, even on like my best form.
No, literally, when I started doing the push up redeem, I used to do them so slowly. It's been like a few months now.
Wait. I'm going to humiliate. This is a humiliation
Are you
ritual.
gonna do push ups?
This is a humiliation ritual. I can pull too. That's about that.
No, no. You start with your knees first.
I know, but
To
that's
make
not the
it easier on yourself.
same.
But it helps you build
Eh,
up
I did
to
too
not
without
using
the
your
knees
knees.
thing. Okay, give me a break.
Yeah, that's fine. No,
Give me a break.
just like literally no. When I started the Iridium, I used to use my knees because I just could not for the life of me. And then
Well,
someone decided to do 150 push-ups in one stream, and the next day my boobs hurt.
oh yeah, I remember that. And then I was telling you
Mm.
off because I thought you were going to drink or eat and then immediately do the push-ups. And I was just like, Conde, please tell your boyfriend not to do that. Why am I the leader?
Follow the leader, follow the leader.
But what movie did you watch, Tia? Did you have a nice time with your family then, my love?
Gone. Bought it.
But if I keep doing push-ups, I'm going to end up with like really big guns. Like, look at the fucking size of it. I have no muscle on my arms, okay?
What's wrong with having big guns?
Wait, can you see it? It's it's nothing. I just have fat. I have like a little bit of muscle here, but you can't see it because of the blur. But I don't have anything. It's just like fat here. And then what's happening? Like I do push-ups, and then like I become extremely strong, and then oh my god, well like
Then you
the
can
least
carry
I'm not
me and
gonna be
Con.
able to keep up. What?
I said, no, literally, Holly. Oh no, not stronger arms for you to hold your wives with. I was like, you can pick me and Con up at the same time.
I'm taking care of it. I am taking care of it, okay? I'm taking care of it. I'm enjoying the gym again. It's a
Slay.
German comedy, but sadly they never translate. But German movies are really good, can I just say? Do I know a single German movie? No, I'm trying to entice my wife that I'm just as cultured as Tiny. And it will never work. It would never work. Did you have popcorn?
Popcorn.
Popcorn. It would be the worst, Holly. Like, just like all
Wait,
of
is
them,
she
like, just here.
Is she a Swiss?
She is swish swish, yes.
Sorry. My tongue does not want to work today. I can't speak English.
Swish, bish. No, 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 no. Oh, my neck fucking hurts. Conde. Why am I the
Swiss,
leader?
Swiss.
Oh no.
Are we all getting tired? Comp when we're tired is dangerous, by the way.
What? I'm good. What is good Swiss German? I
How
can't
does one
fucking pronounce
entertain when
it.
they're
Swiss.
tired?
I sing.
I don't want to sing. I don't
Literally,
sing
that's
well.
how I do it.
I lay down in bed.
I believe. Up,
I
up,
didn't
up,
vote.
it's how I'm on. Yeah, I got to glowing.
Another wife in a basket. I think you were my most recent one.
Select your hero.
Who was my latest wife? Was it you, Holly?
Who
Or
counts
was
as
it
Ramacho?
Mochi? I think it was Mochi.
Mochi was the latest one, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Wait,
Mochi's the
Mochi's your
latest one.
wife?
Yeah, I asked her to marry me yesterday on Tin Stream. And she just goes, DJ, Kara. And I'm like...
Good morning, it's DJ
Cara
Kara.
Delevingne?
No. And finally
Fuck
live
Tracer.
with the girl they all see.
Fuck
No
Widow.
more hiding.
Fuck your
I'll be
mom.
shining like I'm born to be.
You are my mom.
Cause we are
Well, your
hunters.
mom
Wait,
fucks
that's
herself.
called
I don't know what to
masturbation.
tell you.
Ok, Dulce, tipo, por favor, não.
Why would I say that
Yeah,
on
yeah,
stream?
we're going. Gotta be golden. Oh, up with
God forbid!
Gotta be golden.
If you are below the age of
I'm
18,
not
get the fuck out
now
of
I'm
here!
shining like I'm born to be.
I'm new here. You've always been in my life, and I just didn't know it.
Nothing breaks that I can't.
Oh my god, I've heard of that! Popcorn and Maltesers. I need to try it. Wait.
Do you not just eat popcorn and a Malteser
Salty
together?
popcorn. We've had this discussion before. Salty popcorn. No.
I like
No,
salty
you.
popcorn.
I craft my own arrows. Each
I'm
one
done with this
with
conversation.
adaptation.
Slowly
I like
sliding into.
I like sweet and salty popcorn actually.
Can you stop?
What?
No, you. Your boyfriend. Chin is losing it. I mean,
What do you mean Tin is losing it?
would you still
I'm not
kiss
losing
me
anything.
if I ate salty popcorn? How do I answer that without sounding like an absolute fucking weirdo? The answer is obviously
You don't.
yes, but how do I actually answer that truthfully without sounding like a weirdo?
Receive my aid.
I mean, it's no
I was
longer
gonna say something, but
parasocial
that's-
because we've met.
that's-
What? What are you
It's
gonna say?
daddy. It's daddy. So dirty.
I don't understand.
So I was gonna say, wait, who said that? It was Chia, wasn't it? Okay, I was gonna say. Oh, I'm gonna regret saying this. No, I was gonna say,
Oh shit.
yes, though maybe her lips may have touched the salty popcorn. There are other lips.
No! No! Ignore what he said. Ignore what he said. I'm so sorry for him. I am so sorry for him. I am
Hey! You said go on. So I was like, okay. I did tell you it was very dirty. I did say it was very dirty. I'm gonna die. I'm wheezing. That's so cursed. Put that from my face. Conde deafened. Really? Oh my god, he did. He deafened, but he's sitting right next to me as well.
Get the payload moving again.
Guys, I'm not doing a good job.
Can we look in and can we stop talking about pussy getting cracked, okay? That's a friend of mine.
I'm gonna die.
I don't want things to get weird.
It was a
I
joke.
mean, I started it, to be honest.
Exactly. I said I wasn't gonna say it, then you were like, "Go on." So it was at your own discretion.
My discretion.
My essence has
Yes.
been formed.
I'm talking about lip kissing, mouth kissing, not pussy kissing.
But I said it was a dirty joke, and what did you expect? It's me. It's Tin.
Surrender to your mother.
Well, I did not expect you to talk about your other mother like that. Thanks, Dad. You're welcome.
Nurtured.
She is probably borderline pissing herself off. She probably is. You know, but I gotta entertain. You know, you gotta be uncomfortable for entertainment. You know, like this is a killer clip. And you know what else is a killer? The Genji in our team, because his name is the Killer.
Ha ha ha.
You were too funny. Is that possible? What did you say? What did you say? No, Luke's a funny man. Shut up!
Who, the Genji?
Yeah. You're
Again.
done for.
Unassailable prowess.
No, you're not.
I require assistance.
My neck hurts.
Did you?
Mortelle.
Mortel,
I
hello.
can't read chat right now. What's Luke saying?
I have no idea. I can't scroll up.
Me neither. We're so locked in chat.
I'm so tired.
Mortadella- oh,
I knew it.
it does sound like it, but I like it.
A sip for the
I used to love mortandella when I was not a vegetarian.
I'm reloading.
Mortellini.
There's a test subject.
Mortellini the tortellini. Mortazella.
Leave me alone.
Why is my music so low?
Leave me alone. Type shit. Ladies, ladies. Shake your dress!
Jesus, I thought that was a dude. Mortel supporting.
Ladies, you know I'm in my work type shit.
No opposition.
Shake
is
your
incoming.
dress! Ladies, if I shake my dress,
Why is
will you
everyone
leave me
spreading
alone
out?
type shit. Ladies.
I offer something more.
60 seconds.
Bro.
Motherfucker.
I'm under attack. Receive my aid. What is it now?
How does one go from talking about getting her pussy cracked or cracking someone's pussy to like panicking on the inside? Because this game is sweaty as fuck.
Surrender to your mother. Ruination is imminent.
I was gonna ask you, Mortel, if you were finished with work, but I realized it's 10 for me. You work until 10.
10 seconds.
Oh shit.
Wasted enough time. Move.
We're fucked.
A cure for all the day.
What did I miss? I forgot what he said. You don't remember what you said, look. So, were you that funny?
Tomorrow, I say.
Surely. Queenie, go sleep. It's okay. This tea is good. I'm getting old. I'm enjoying tea. I'm really getting old. That's insane. And I'm also getting super tired. And I have to go to the gym tomorrow. I really do. Because I know if I don't, I'm not gonna go. Conde, how many loot boxes did you have?
63.
I'm not doing enough, man. I only had like 20. Yeah, I had 19, I think. I only play Moira.
That's why.
Stop acting pissy at me, man.
Is shackled.
I'm not.
When are we playing Overwatch 10? When you're not working and when I am not working.
Busier
No.
than you, I'd assume.
5-hour time difference is too much, honestly. It doesn't sound like a lot, but oh my god. Oh my god.
Same
Is it
time,
5? No,
same
6.
time.
6 hours.
Same
Imagine, I feel
Is it?
like the 1 hour difference between me and she is an eternity.
Over there.
I have heard of your experiments. There is no
Huh? They want me to play Orisa. Why?
Shimada, where do I know that name from?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. The family of criminals.
4, 3,
Living in your mind now. Too late, cause you,
incoming.
I will make you afraid. I mean, I'll think about it. Orisa's
I'm
another
starting
one
to
that I
shut
can
down.
wait until Aussie time difference. Yeah. The thing is, I'm playing Remacha for the shield.
A taste of
Orisa can't shield anything.
She can if you got the perk.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about that.
Hold on. Eyes open now. Receive my aid.
I don't have any heals.
I want to push up, but no one's going to push up with me.
Your strength becomes
What are our DPSs
Literally
doing?
behind you.
you're broken. May I?
I am literally Mr. Bean right now, trying to like keep my eyes open with like the wood
Toothpicks.
thing. Yeah, the toothpicks.
Be nurtured.
Behind.
Frame drops, I'm getting frame drops. Right, left, and center. Literally crazy frame
What do
drops.
I keep getting stunned with?
Pebbles. It's Dwayne.
Mother's kindness. I'm under attack.
We got this. We got this. We got this.
Genshin next to you.
Why the fuck did he pick Ken?
Where is next to and who? Names, people, names.
Fuck.
Tank, 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 tank.
Grant me an ember.
Alright, Battle Mercy.
Trying to get new jobs this week, maybe get better hours. Heck yeah. Fix it if we never face it. Let we find a way to escape it. We could be
Bitch!
free.
7:30 a.m. for me now. Don't go to sleep.
My essence
Alqueen,
of
I
the
don't think I can
payload
play
is
Fortnite
moving.
tomorrow. It depends on what time I get back from the gym. But I was thinking of recording some Dragon Age as well.
Step right
Oh,
up.
you're dead. Oh my god.
Cure for all the tales. Take
He's
caution.
fucking behind me, I know it. Yeah.
Shit, I'm gone.
No, you're
Up here.
To start anew.
I
I wish I was free,
free.
but I must go back to work. Okay. Have a good 2 hours.
Thank you, Pookie.
I
Thank
used
you,
the wrong
Queenie.
fucking thing.
I really need to record an episode of Dragon Age because I haven't played Dragon Age in literally over a month.
Your end is within my reach.
I need to lower my DPI. It's way too high right now. This guy just wiped our entire team, man.
Evolution. Surrender to your mother. My apologies.
What?
Bruh.
I'll find my own path.
Don't talk to me right now, please.
Why can't I get any kills? What is this?
I'm just embarrassed.
Selling, huh?
Which way are we going? This way or what?
This way. We gotta
You
touch.
didn't see that. You didn't see that. My DPI is so crazy high, man.
Oh my god.
You didn't see that.
Still alive for a
chat.
second.
I'm
actually
trying.
embarrassed
I'm.
of that.
I licked my wounds.
I'm sorry, guys. That one's on me.
What's up?
Like
Like a gentle rain. Nice to know you have my back.
Come on, kill the Genji. Shival!
I'm going to mute chat for that. I'm not going to lie.
Defeat.
I'm so embarrassed.
What happened?
She altered in spawn.
On point. On spawn, yeah. By accident. And that was my last game.
Jing, hello.
I am so embarrassed right now. Wait, what's happening in chat?
Nothing.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, I don't know if I've told you today, Tin, but you look very cute.
As if. The emotes remind me of something. What do they remind you
I am
of?
so traumatized right now, Chad. Are you going to keep streaming, Tin?
I don't know. maybe.
Just so I know if I
Oh my god,
to raid you.
Ching! Thank you for the 1,000, but also why? Why?
Peak. Guys, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
Should we play Peak?
I'm going to bed.
Ugh, okay, Grandma.
My head is literally banging right now.
My face too. My sinuses are so blocked. All I feel is pain.
Yeah, he
You're
keeps
working
calling me
tomorrow. You
Fat
should go
Gucci.
rest.
Wait, what, Con?
He's working tomorrow. Should rest and get better.
I just need to wake up at 11.
I have this ugly ass banner.
This is what it sounds like.
Boom, boom.
Wait, hold up. What time do I need to wake up to see if before I can't call in sick? Not that I want to call in sick, but bro, I think this is gonna need another day of thing because it's so bad right now. Check-in is at 1:20.
Don't dox your timing
2 hours
like
before that.
that.
What do you mean? That's not when we're taking off. That's just when I have to get to work. What is 2 hours before 1 o'clock? Maths.
I'm
Is that
so
11?
traumatized after that game, man.
11:20.
I am Gilf apparently. What the fuck? And now
Nope.
I ult in spawn. We lose the game because I swapped to Kiriko because I'm embarrassed. Apparently I'm Gilf. Thanks, guys. Thanks. My head is banging. Thank you, Tin, for calling me grandma. Now chat is calling me Gilf.
Sorry, not sorry about what I said.
Are you going to keep playing streaming?
Well, I don't think so. My resident doctor is
Should
saying
we
no.
raid? Should we do a raid, Mochi?
Oh, I was gonna say, should we raid that new person that we met? But yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Becca TW.
Becca TW. Let's go. Is she still alive?
Yeah, she is.
Slay,
How long
let's
has she
fucking
been alive
go.
for though? 3 hours. That's nothing. She'll be on for a while. Hopefully.
Wow, thanks. Wow, okay,
What?
thanks. I've been on for 3 hours.
What?
It sounded like a dab.
Honey, I didn't know that you were thingamabob.
You
I'm
can
gonna
do
use
exclamation
that.
mark and. Oh, I'm tired.
Alrighty, I'm gonna mute myself to say bye to my chat. Baby.
I'm going to leave the call if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love you guys. Bye.
Oh. Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here today. I want to like stream in the middle of the week, but I don't know how that's gonna work. I need to raid out as well. Raid for guys. Don't forget. I'm so sorry. I am so tired, Chad. I'm sorry. I am really tired. Well, there's a shared chat raid both. Okay, hold up. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. Hold up. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I am so tired, guys. I am so sorry. I was looking at Tin's chat instead of mine. Take care. I will take care. I am going to the gym tomorrow morning, and I am a little bit dready of that because I am so tired. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for the resubs. Thank you so much for accompanying me in the placements. I want to stream either tomorrow or like midweek. Don't forget your raid messages. Don't forget to stay safe and to keep others safe and to not forget that another day is another sleigh. Stop calling me Gilf. Please stop calling me Gilf. Please stop calling me Gilf. Stop calling me Gilf. Wait, I'm waiting. Bless on that ass. I love you. I love you. I love you all. I love you. I love my wifeys. I love chat, but I love my wifeys more because wifeys, you know. I don't know what to say. I'm so tired. Guys, go to sleep. No more golf. Bye-bye.